And we're live, ladies and gents. Let's do this once again. It's another Friday night live stream. I really enjoy doing these. I can't stay away from it. I can't stay away from it. I really feel like getting out there and talking to the community. So I do a number of these videos. If you're new to the channel, I do these videos every morning, every day, and I get out there. But at the end of the week, I like to unwind. Grab a couple of wobbly pops, have a good time. And you know what? Let's have a good time with everybody in the community. This is something I've been doing for a number of years, I think on to 4 years or so. And I decided to take a step away from it. But I find some Friday nights, I'm like, I got nothing else going on. Let's just do this. It's so much fun. And then I like to include and add friends to the whole chat. So we're gonna have a little bit of that later, a little bit later in the chat. This is gonna be fun. First half hour, I'm gonna be hanging out with you guys. Welcome in, chat. Love to see you. Great to see you. It's fantastic right here. I need to make sure I'm not muting anything, and I got to make sure that I'm actually going out live to everybody. In the meantime, I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat. Just say where it is you're watching from. This is really fun stuff to see just how big of a crowd has been turning up to these live streams lately and from all over the place. So that's a lot of fun. While I go and check and make sure that we're actually streaming to all these different locations, I want to make sure that this stuff's working. I want to make sure that it's happening. I want to make sure that everybody can see it. So view live stream. Rumble seems to be the difficult one right now. I want to make sure that the stuff. Okay, yeah, it's going out on Rumble. Some of the back end stuff though, I need to talk to my friends over at Rumble and see how I can fix some of the back end stuff to make sure that I can get things going. They got a lot of campaigns that they want to do, and I want to make sure that we can get that going for them. So anyway, while I get all this stuff going, love to see where you guys are watching from. YYC, we got Manitoba, Alabama. Holy cow! Wow, that's amazing. You know what's funny? I was sticking up for you, Alabama, just recently. What is it in Canada? They're saying, oh, Canada is so terrible right now economically. They're worse than Alabama. It's like, well, come on, Alabama ain't so bad these days. Honestly, like the stuff that's going on in Alabama is actually pretty dang good. Like actually, people in Alabama are loving life right at this moment as we're speaking. So Canada, when you're given analogies of things being bad, perhaps don't drag Alabama into this, because Alabama doesn't deserve it. They've been doing themselves a lot of good stuff and lots of new jobs in Alabama. And I'll tell you what, not government jobs like they're doing in Canada. So let's we'll get into that. We got lots to get into. Edmonton, Alberta. Awesome. Good to hear from you. Happy Friday from Michigan. Awesome. Hi from Hamilton, Ontario. Alabama is greater than Canada. I love that. Awesome. We got Velmont, BC. Who else? I'm loving life in Alberta. A lot of people are loving life in Alberta. They're loving it so much that they don't want to share it with the rest of Canada. And I can understand. I can definitely understand that. What is that? Marmora, Ontario. Marmora. Whereabouts is that? Wokatoba. Is that where is that? Is that in Calgary? The major cities. Calgary, Edmonton. That's where all the woke people live. Quebec, baby. Quebec. How's that independence movement working for you guys? And I'm not dogging on you by saying that. How is it working for you guys? I wouldn't mind seeing Quebec become independent themselves. Honestly, I'm not kidding when I say that. The Bridge, cross-border consulting. Awesome. Welcome to the show. You're coming in for the right show. I'm guessing that's Sandro on the other side. Awesome to see you, man. And honestly, people out there, if you're looking to move yourself to the United States of America and you need a little help and you're like, I don't know what to do, these guys are the guys to talk to. Go to what is it? Move to the USA, the number 2. So move to the USA.com, and those guys will help you out. Tell them I sent you. That's absolutely the best thing to do. We got Seattle, Calgary. Wow. Manitoba, lol. Okay, yeah, that's the Wokatoba. There you go. Berta, Very, very proud. It's Good Friday with Clyde and Tiana. Yeah, Tiana's coming in shortly. We'll see her in just a minute. I told her jump in about a half an hour because first little bit, I want to chat with everybody. I want to talk to you guys and see what's happening with you all and talk about a bit of the stories, a bit of the stuff, that kind of thing. What is this? Talk about EB2 NIW, you clickbait Tim Pool wannabe. Oh my goodness. Tim Pool wannabe. Why would you not want to be something like Tim Pool? He's successful. He's amazing. That's if that's an insult, that's a great one. Talk about the EB2 national interest waiver. Yeah, we will. Because that's actually a great way to get yourself into the United States. That's another way. There are many, many avenues, and basically what we're trying to do is hook people up with the right way to get themselves in. And again, for all intents and purposes, I gotta say this: I'm not trying to convince people to move to the United States. All I'm trying to do is facilitate it for people who've already made that decision. That's really what it is. I don't need to convince anybody. There's no convincing. If your elbows are up in the air, good on you. Have fun with that. I'm not coming in to try to talk you out of it. You keep going. You keep going with all that stuff because you're gonna have some fun. We're all gonna see that happening. But that's it. Yeah, you cool person wannabe, man. You want to be someone great. That's amazing. Hi, Sandro. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, Sandro's in the chat. So we'll get into some of this. And everybody be kind because I've got the best moderation team headed off tonight by Peter from Edmonton. So if you're acting a fool, yeah, Peter's gonna set you in the right way. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. At least that's on YouTube. But hey to everybody else in all the other platforms, because we're also streaming out to Facebook. We're streaming out to Rumble. We're streaming out to X. So everybody out there that's enjoying this, pop a comment in the chat, say hello, say hey to everybody, and we'll keep that going. And you know what? Always hit the like button because that helps the channel out tremendously. And I'll tell you just quickly how that all works. When you hit the like button, what it does is, it's free. It's free and it's easy and it's cheap, and there it is. Boom, blop. You just hit that button. But what it really does, what it's really happening, and when you just say hello in the chat, what happens is the algorithm gets a signal. Now, with the algorithm and the way the algorithms work is they're just trying to take content creators and they're trying to make, take the content that they put out and deliver it to the right people so that they basically give you the best experience you can get on the website. So the best way to do that is to give people exactly what they're looking for. So if you are liking this video, perhaps what will happen is somebody else who watches similar things to what you typically watch, they'll get a recommendation from YouTube. Hey, check out this guy because, that's great. All these other people are liking it. I bet you'll like it too. So it helps out a tremendous amount. Just engage with the videos, engage with the live streams, hit that like button. Go on, hit the share button and copy the link so you can go share it out into other platforms wherever you want, or just leave a comment in the chat, or even afterwards, leave a comment in the comment section down below, because this is always a great way to help out the channel. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into some of this stuff. I love hearing from you guys, what you're all saying. What do you got here? And this is from over on Rumble, Tilscab, saying, English isn't your first language. I'm guessing that's not, oh, he's not talking to me. No, I do speak multiple languages, but English is definitely my first one. Where are we? Such a pathetic place with such a minority, docile and brain dead. Yeah, unfortunately, that's just where we're at with Canada. And I gotta say, like, Canada is probably, and I've been saying this to a lot of people, I think that Canada is, I don't know if on par with or more so propagandized than even North Korea. It's actually like the level of propaganda that's going on in Canada, it would make the Kim dynasty blush. Let's just be frank with you. I mean, they have to actually literally lock their people in the country and threaten them at the threat of like being shot if they try to leave. Canadians don't have to do that. They don't have to do that. They just tune into CBC, and somehow they buy into it. They what is it, hook, line, and sinker. It's just absolutely insane, the stuff that they do. And of course, this is, I mean, we're no stranger to this. I've been talking about this like crazy. I have to share this story. So I have to share this story. And this is the story. How do I'm going to put this up here like this. Why did it not work? It's because I haven't shared that yet. There we go. BC mother. This is from the CBC, and it's going out to all kinds of other platforms as well. BC mother and daughter released from ICE custody in Texas after being held for 19 days. This is the story that they've been running with, that she was just plucked out of nowhere. She never did anything wrong. Nothing ever happened. And all of a sudden they just grabbed her out of the blue. And you know what? Because of that, you all should be afraid of stepping foot in America, because you'll be detained by ICE. Now, this is the craziest part. Because there's been a lot of publications talking about this. Here's the Guardian, their version of it, and the Guardian with, okay, yeah, you want your spyware on there. Canadian woman held with daughter by ICE is released after nearly 3 weeks of detention. Tanya Warner is fitted with an ankle monitor and released along with 7-year-old daughter Isla Lucia after being deemed not a flight risk. This is the craziest story. So they've been going nuts with this story to try to propagandize Canadians to be afraid to go to the United States, because if you go to the United States, this is what's going to happen to you. Why would ICE put an ankle monitor on you? Why would this be the case? Now, I contacted my lawyer and I said, hey, can you read some of these articles about this and just give me your feedback on this? he actually said, you can quote me on this, and I'll pull this up because it's unbelievable what he actually said. Because, I mean, my knee-jerk reaction was basically the same that he said. He says, yeah, you can quote that every case is treated on a case-by-case basis, and without full disclosure, and all these stories are just stories, and that they're not factual. Until they give you evidence of what exactly happened to this person, they're lying to you. And I want to express this. I want to express this very clearly. It's malpractice to not have all the details of a story and then run knowing that your audience is going to run with a false assumption. You give them a story that's incomplete and you know that they're going to go in a particular direction. That's journalistic malpractice. Absolutely from the get-go. And it's amazing that this is what they're still doing. Now, the story is going out from this. Hold on, I got to go back to a guide for Canadians detained abroad. This is really where they're going. Here's the kid. Man, I need to move that over, don't I? So we can actually read it because it's behind me. There you go. A guide for Canadians detained abroad, because this is happening every single day, right? This is what they're letting people believe, because the problem that we're having right now is there's a massive influx of people leaving the country of Canada. They see the cards, or they see the writing on the wall, and they're like, I'm going to get out of here. So what's the knee-jerk reaction? Let's propagandize these people and make sure that they're too scared to leave. And this is instead of the guns at the border like the North Koreans do, they're just using the propaganda that works even better than the North Korean propaganda, which we look at what they're doing. What they teach in North Korea is America bad. Holy cow, that sounds exactly like Canada, doesn't it? America bad, Orange Man bad, all of this stuff. And that's really where we're going. It's really where we're going with this. And I can't wait to, I got some great guests to talk about this tonight. So I got Tiana, Truth Seeker, you know her as, all over all the different platforms. She'll be on in a little bit. And then later, I've got a good buddy of mine, entrepreneur, who also went through all this stuff, dealt with trying to make businesses in Canada, trying to make it work, and just realizing this is so much easier. We're in a country that's open for business. And we'll be talking with David A. lot in a little bit because he'll be coming on. He's a good friend of mine, and we're going to have him on. But that's the thing. Okay, what we got here, we got communism 101, incite fear. That's exactly it. The reality on the ground is not actually that, but we're still gonna go with these stories, and that's exactly where we are. So let's have a listen to this. After weeks and weeks of hearing from the CBC, now that the BC mother and daughter have been released from ICE custody in Texas after being held for 19 days. Tanya Warner was detained with her 7-year-old daughter on a way home from a baby shower. Where was that baby shower? What are the particulars of this story? Well, this is where you'll realize that they're leaving a lot of the details out in a story like this. We saw there was a bunch of stories in the U.S. because they were propagandizing the people down there too, with stories of Americans being detained. There was a guy, he served in the military and he was detained and then deported. Well, it turns out that, he never secured his citizenship. He came over when he was younger from Jamaica, just got a green card, never secured his citizenship. And then he proceeded later on in life to beat up his wife, and then he got arrested for that, and then he got arrested for drugs, and then when it came to renewing his green card, they said, no, we're not going to do that. And then he ignored it. And then they deported the guy. Let's listen to this story. So a Canadian mother and daughter who spent more than 2 weeks detained at an immigration facility in Texas were released from custody on Thursday after posting bond. It will not feel real. It'll not feel real until I see this place in the rearview mirror, Tanya Warner said in a video she sent to CBC News, still wearing the tracksuit from the Dilley Immigration Processing Center. She spoke to the camera as her 7-year-old daughter smiled from the backseat of their vehicle with her husband driving them home. This is their story. Oh, they have it.
We're leaving Dilley right now. As you can see, we left in our jail clothes.
Tanya Warner and her 7-year-old daughter, Ayla, have been released from an ICE detention center in Texas after being detained for 19 days. They sent CBC News videos from their drive home.
It did not feel real until we see this place in the rearview mirror. Even though I'm released, I'm still detained.
Still wearing their outfits issued by the detention center and now in an ankle monitor, Warner says they're happy to be reunited with Edward Warner, Tanya's husband and Ayla's stepfather. They describe the conditions in the facility that is intended to be for families like a prison. Warner says the experience has been traumatizing for both of them.
It's a detention center. What do you expect it to be? I mean, it's a detention center.
And they're looking forward to some normalcy.
How are you feeling to be out?
Good.
What's for dinner tonight?
Pizza.
Right on, girl.
The mother-daughter duo were detained at a border checkpoint while on their way home from a baby shower on March 14th. Warner says they've been through similar checkpoints many times before without issue and did not expect to be detained. Originally from Penticton, she and Ayla have been living in Texas for nearly 5 years. She says her immigration paperwork is in order. She has a work permit and has applied for a green card. The Department of Homeland Security, which operates ICE facilities in the United States, has not responded to requests for interviews.
Home again, home again.
So what does that mean? It means we're getting her side of the story only. That's absolutely it.
Tanya and Ayla will have more immigration hearings in the coming weeks to determine whether or not they can stay in the U.S. or if they'll be deported. Jacqueline Gelano, CBC News, Salmon Arm.
So there's tons missing from this story. There's absolutely tons missing from this story because they're not just pulling people, and this is the claim, right? They're pulling people over and they're just, first they're racially profiling people and then detaining them, detaining American citizens. And then it's like, oh no, but this is a white lady in Texas. She was detained, but we're not getting any of the reasoning for why. She doesn't say why she was detained. She's not declaring if she has any criminal record or anything like that. We don't know. And like I said, there's been so many cases where once you've done the digging, you find out that the cases that this, CNN or whatever's bringing up, it turns out that they actually have a criminal record. That's why they couldn't renew. They overstayed their visas. They've been sitting there with no legal status in the country. And so those people would be detained and then deported. Now, this lady didn't get deported, but she was given an ankle bracelet. What's up with that? Like, where does that even come from? So again, this is one of those things where it's like, it's kind of, it's journalistic malpractice to not grill her more to find out information. Obviously, ICE is not replying to CBC News. I wouldn't imagine why they wouldn't reply to CBC News, because it's a foreign country propaganda outlet. So yeah, I don't know. We're really looking at this point as is this a real story? So I'm not gonna pull this up because like some of the stories that they've been releasing recently for this is just absurd. It's absolutely absurd. We got Money for Charity for $4.99 says, elbow up the guy with the lisp, a heavy lisp. Yeah, elbows up, guys. That's exactly it. Now, there was another story that was out. I'm going to try to pull this up real quick because, again, they're trying to make it a shocking story as if it like people are being detained for no damn reason. What was it? It was like this actress detained. Canadian actress detained in the USA. Yeah, here it is. I got it. So this was another one of these stories that popped up in the news, and so they're trying to make it sound like, oh, this is a horror story. This lady had to deal with this. Let's see how they report on it in this short. Are you telling me there's no audio? What? You're not hearing this? You're not hearing this. That's terrible. Okay, well, let me find a way to make it so you guys can hear this. All right. Just give me two shakes here while I make that happen. Let me pop it up like this and share it like this. Thank you for letting me know that there was no audio. Let's watch this again.
And there were about, I'd say, 140 girls, women, and every single one of them, not one of us had a criminal record. So when you're placed in jail, the color of your prison outfit reflects your criminal status. So I was placed in the unit with 0 criminal records. Everyone's story was different of why they were in there, but a lot of similarities between the women. And I got out within 2 weeks. The majority of the women are in there for months. And I'm telling you, that place, these detention centers, everything in there is made to make you break into a million pieces. I have never seen this before. I had no idea that this existed for the non-criminals. Like,
for
they would just do the weird.
This is all really funny when you realize what she actually did, and we're gonna get into it.
Weirdest things, like we get placed into these cells that were freezing cold. I'm talking like we'd be on the ground, like huddling, shivering. I'm like, we're gonna get hypothermia in here. No blankets, nothing. They would wake you up in the middle of the night. The food was not food. I wouldn't even feed it to a dog. The water was from tap water from our toilets. They give you 1 styrofoam cup and 1 plastic spoon to reuse after every meal. Like the second jail I was in, we didn't get to stretch our legs and be, and it's not even fresh air. Like it's like this another cell with a tiny sliver of fresh air. And we didn't get to go out there until day 4. And the thing with this place,
do you think they're going to even get into what she did? Like, have a listen.
Is if you go to jail, you're sentenced and you know when you're getting out. In here, you have no idea. And these women haven't seen their husbands. They haven't seen their children. They're losing their jobs. It's just, I honestly could not believe that this is happening.
Like Canadian housing. No, so this is like, it's titled what? Canadian actress detained by ICE speaks out. Did they give any indication of what it was that she did to deserve this? Is there any indication whatsoever? Well, no, not in this report anyway. Let's have a look at where she says
I'm
here.
telling you from this.
So this one in this video, you can see this is as she's getting out. I think this is in YVR Airport. I recognize that because I've been in that airport so many damn times in Vancouver. And here she is on CBC News.
I'm telling
Her
you
accent
from the
Hollywood.
second I got there to now, like I can't even process what just happened because there was no heads up. Next thing you know, I'm taken and for 2 weeks haven't been told anything, moved in different cells, sleeping on cement, sleeping in different jail cells. Like it just, nothing makes sense to me. And I'm still trying to process the entire situation.
Canadian.
So this is I gotta share this. This is so funny because in the reality of the situation, when you actually hear about what it was that she did, you'll then look back and go, oh, right. Okay, fair enough. So here's this lady. She's an actress. She was picking up work in the United States and she was traveling down to the United States and working without telling immigration any of this, going in on visitor visas and working in the United States and being paid without anything. It's a big no-no. And this is the crazy thing that a lot of Canadians just take for granted. Like, because you used to be able to just go over and go into the United States on a driver's license and nobody cared. Tickety-boo, just head on over, do your shopping, come on back and all that stuff. But this lady was going over and she was working. And when immigration and was it USCIS, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, when they got wind of what she was doing, they said no, and they denied her entry from Canada to go into the United States. And so what was her action? Was it to go and clear up what was the misunderstanding, perhaps get a work permit and okay it so that she was actually going into the United States to work legally? No, she flew to Mexico and then drove in from Mexico, from which she was flagged at the border and detained for X amount of time before she was released back into the wild of Canada. And the thing is, if you get a good reporter, they'll tell you about this maybe way down the article because they work for CBC. They don't want you to know the truth about this thing. So they'll tell you way down the line. If you find it on CTV, it'll be way down at the bottom of the article. But they won't tell you right out of the gates. They'll tell you this sob story of a person who is mistreated by authorities, who is just innocent, just trying to do her thing. And well, it turns out, yeah, you can't legally do this. You're breaking the law. You get detained. That's just how things go. Now, we have lots of people in Canada that are, doing the right thing. And when they move to the United States, they do things legally, lawfully. And I mean, what a better segue to bring in my guest tonight, who's done this and done it the right way, did it legally, and entered the United States and is having a grand old time. So welcome everybody to this channel and to this chat tonight. Big welcome to Tiana. Welcome to the show.
How's it going? How's it going?
How's that intro? That was amazing.
That was awesome. I loved it.
You did it legally. So for everybody that's out there listening, Tiana and we met up in Texas a few months ago.
Yeah, that was actually pretty badass.
Yeah, you were at a speaking thing, and that was fun. We were actually supposed to do a bunch more stuff, but you got roped into going on Alex Jones, so I don't blame you for going and doing that. So here we are tonight. And we're talking, basically, I want to talk about this. You guys know her as Truth Seeker online. Most people, do they even know your name?
Not really. Like they don't know how to pronounce it because it's like super weirdly spelled. So
With a
everyone
J,
calls
right?
yeah, with a J. So on site, everybody calls me TJ, and then online, everyone just calls me TS for Truth Seeker. That's what they know me as. But yeah, that was hilarious though. In Texas, we were supposed to go for lunch. I was like, "Oh, what do you and your wife want?"
Yeah,
And we were
yeah.
Sandro, and then all of a sudden, I was like, "Dude." I just got a text. I'm going on Alex Jones. I have to cancel everything. I started panicking so hard. Uh,
Well, that's awesome. We'll have plenty of opportunity because I'll be in Austin. You're what, kind of close to Dallas, so
yeah.
we'll have plenty of opportunities moving forward for that. We can
That
take a
is
rain
true.
check on that. But I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this because in Canada, there's the propaganda. They're trying to convince people not to leave, or they're trying to scare them into not leaving so they stay and pay all like what, half of their annual income to the government in taxes, which is, that's just on the income portion of it. And then you get to spend more taxes when you purchase things, which is absolutely insane. And this is the reason why a lot of people are leaving. They're like, screw that, I'm done. I'm absolutely done with this. I want to be able to keep the fruits of my own labor. I want to be able to earn, actually be able to earn, because there's no jobs in Canada anymore. They're disappearing so fast. And then entrepreneurial type people want to, live in a life that's not just full of regulation that's going to burden you down. So what was your initial reason to go into the US?
Just the regulations, because we had an oil and gas business up in northern Alberta, and it was like almost every 3 months something new, some new regulation. You have to do this, you have to update that, you have to pay for the updates, and it was like, dudes. And then they kept increasing the taxes, the carbon taxes, the fuel, all of it. Like it just kind of became too much. And then I started to read some of the land grabs that they were going to do through the UN, which is what I talk about with like UNDRIP and all of that stuff. And I started to
They
notice
called
that
you a
they were
crazy person at first too,
oh
right?
yeah. Everyone's like, you're insane. That's never gonna happen. What's wrong with you? If I own my house, like no one's gonna take it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, dudes. And then I saw them like lighting all of our area on fire. Like every single summer, our area was on fire. And every single summer we started to follow like weird trucks, because when you're that far up north, there's only like 200 of us, right? Like we know
Mhm.
everyone's truck going in and out. We know if someone's going to a rig because it's like a major highway system. And then we kind of saw people with jerry cans, trucks we've never seen before. We
No
saw them
shit.
cutting, oh yeah, like we have evidence of them cutting power pole lines, so that when a wind or a storm would come in, it would fall onto farmers field and light on fire. So I was like, oh, we've been building an off-grid thing for the last 10 years, and I was like, I think we're gonna have to abandon ship because we're gonna lose everything we just worked for. So might as well just sell it now, and get out of Canada, because the speech laws were coming in. And I've said a lot of shit about everybody, every single side in the Canadian government. So I started to get scared, and I was like, hey, you know what? Like, we need to leave. And we started to explore and everything, and my husband found an opportunity, and we freaking packed her up, sold everything. He's been down here 6 months longer than I have, or 8 months longer. I stayed in Canada to kind of finalize and close everything down. So we were apart for about 8 months. We had to
That
sacrifice
sucks.
that. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah. But like thankfully we both work on the rigs and we both work hitches. So it's like, easy for us. But that's the longest we've ever gone. Usually it's only like a month or 3 months at the most. But 8 months, that was pretty hard. But we both kind of stuck it through, and now we're here. And yeah, it was a lot of sacrificing, a lot of work. But if you do it the right way, Americans are the friendliest. Like, dude, there's such friendly people, super pro business, pro capitalism. They want you to succeed down here, unlike the Canadian government. Like when we set up our business, I got a call from the legal aid, like congratulating us. You know what I mean? When I set up a business in Canada, they were like, fuck you, give me money.
Well, and
Pretty
the
much.
people
So
too, like not just the government, but people. It's like an attitude I find in Canada different than the US. Like when I go to Texas and I'm talking to people and I'm like, I have plans to do this, 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 and this, and they're like, tell me what I can do to help. I love this. This is a great idea. When can I watch it? Or people say stuff and they're starting a business. When can I patronize your business? That's the attitude in Texas. That's the attitude in the United States. In Canada, it's Yeah, well, you'll be back. You know, you tell a colleague like, you'll be back. You'll be working for the man again. Like they're waiting for you to fail. They want you to
Yes.
fail.
They
And that
want you to
sucks. It's
fail.
like it's such a crappy culture in my
It
estimate.
is. It is. And that was done on purpose. It was in order to usher in communism, you need everybody hating everybody else and wanting everybody down on their level, because Canadians realize you can't climb up in Canada, right? So if you see anyone that's made it's got to be fake, or they must have,
Or it's hard as fuck. It's so hard. It's so hard to grow.
And so they want you to, like, they'll pull you down and they'll pull you down. And that is what I keep trying to tell Canadians. It's like these liberals, they don't want you to have a truck. They don't want you to have a home. They don't want you to have enough money for food. They literally want you to be at a starving level that they are at. And, you know, normal Canadians are just kind of treading water as is, because it's so hard up north. Anyone with a business is like really grinding. You know what I mean? Like, you need to put 1/8 of the effort that you put in Canada to be successful in the United States, right? So why would you go through all of those hoops, and why would you pay all of those taxes just to battle the government, almost half of your neighbors who want to see you fail, when you can just come to the United States, help the US build its economy? Because what people don't understand is that small businesses in the US and Canada make up most of, you know, the income for taxes for the government. And so if you siphon that class out of Canada, they're going to have to start listening, because right now corporations are leaving, talent is leaving, anybody with any kind of business or money is leaving and coming to the United States. So they're contributing that much amount of money and talent into the US economy versus the Canadian economy. And I think that's why the government is kind of starting to panic a little bit. So they're trying to put the fear into Canadians, like, oh, don't go there. They're going to arrest you. They're going to do this. Do you know, like, how much better it is dealing with government down here? Like, you call the government and you're like, hey, I need help. I need this. And they're like, oh, you have to call this, and this person. And they give you specifics, or they solve your problem right away, or they give you a call back. Like, I've never had somebody be like, can I get your name and number? I'll get this and this person to call you back and let you know what you need to do exactly. And honestly,
crazy.
they actually call you back.
So I had a passport application that I filed years ago, and they sent it back to me because they said I didn't press hard enough with the pen on my signature. Like, that's how asinine it is in Canada. It's crazy.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. So I had to wait all this time. They sent it back, and then I was on my way to Japan to like move there at that point.
No
I'm on
way.
a deadline. Come on, hurry up. Get this done. This is crappy.
That's crazy, because we had to renew my husband's passport, like, down here, and Canada, all of a sudden, I'm like, you know, they're not calling, like, we don't see a passport, nothing. And so we called them and they're like, oh, what's that spilled thing in the corner? And we're like, we never spilt anything. And they're like, oh, we just needed to mark it as something looks like it was spilled. I'm like, well, that was on your end, because, you know, I took pictures of everything. So I sent it to them, and they're like, okay, we'll issue it now. And I was like, dude, we've been waiting like 3 months, and I even like paid for the extra to call us if there's something wrong. And they're like, well, you have American numbers. We're not allowed to call American numbers. I'm like,
shut up.
Yeah. I was like, dude. Anyway, don't even get me started, because like I lost
well, you're
it
here
on,
so
like,
I can get you started. That's the
yeah,
whole
right.
point.
I'm like, Service Canada got it an earful from me, right? And I just lost my shit on them. And they're like, you need to calm down, ma'am. I was like, I will not. Like, you need to do your freaking job, you ding dongs. But yeah, anyways.
So it's a lot better. Like, so like from what I've seen, like starting a business in America, even right down to Amazon. So we're trying to make an Amazon store so we can sell our t-shirts and hopefully give people a little bit of a discount on the t-shirts for delivery. You know what I mean? Because Amazon delivers for a lot cheaper. Let's just face it. So if you get your stuff on Amazon, it's better. By the way, you can get stuff like this. You can get the Canada's Up for Grabs hat. It's on the store. You can even get the I'd grab that shirt, which is
that is awesome.
Go get yourself one, because they're on the store. The link is in the description down below. There's coffee. There's all kinds of stuff you guys can grab. But yeah, we're entrepreneurs, right? We're making business.
Exactly.
This is the whole idea behind it. But so a business partner of mine, Yuji, he was trying to set up the Amazon stuff.
Yeah.
In the United States, to set up an Amazon, you just need a bank account and like a name. Like that's it. You just need valid ID and a bank account. It doesn't even have to be valid ID or a bank account in the United States. They don't care as long as they're valid. And
That's freaking awesome.
and that's it. We try to set it up for Amazon.ca. Shit, they want like they want to know that you've been given a government trademark for your brand. They want all this other proof and all this other nonsense. It's crazy, and we've been working on it for like over a month just to try to get this damn thing approved. And that's all the stuff that they want.
That's insane. I even have an Amazon.
It was 30 minutes for the US Amazon account.
That's crazy. No, everything's so much easier down here. Like everything flows so much smoother, all of it. I didn't realize that, like, you know how if you drive in Austin, you know those cameras on the toll roads?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I didn't know that the toll roads in Austin and Dallas were separate. So I thought I paid everything off, right? And then all of a sudden my bank calls and they're like, "Oh, you have an unpaid thing and that's unusual and we don't want it to go against your like score. Are you sure you paid off like the, you know, the toll roads in Austin?" And I was like, "Oh, I thought Austin and Dallas were the same." And they're like, "Oh no, it's a completely different website." So I was like, "Okay, I'm going to go pay that right away." And my bank's like, "Okay, well just show us proof." And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." I call them and I was like, "Hey, I'm Canadian, dude. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that this and this was separate." I said it really nicely and the girl goes,
"We're basically retarded."
Yeah, I'm like, "I'm basically retarded. Like, please, like, help me out. I'm so sorry. Everything's owned by the government. So in Canada, if I go on one website, I owe all of that money. You know what I mean? I didn't realize it was private entrepreneurship down here, dudes." And she literally goes, "Oh, I'll just waive the fees. It's okay." And so I just paid my regular thing, called the bank, and they're like, "Okay, cool, because we don't want your credit to go down." And I was like, shit. In Canada, they wouldn't even fucking tell me. I'd get a letter and then I get a call from like collections being like, "You owe this." And I'll be like, "Oh, what, dude? I don't even know what you're talking about." But like, yeah, it's just insane down here, man. Like, it's so
crazy.
Much
I got another story that you're just not going to believe. So back years and years ago, you used to have to pay your premiums for your health insurance in British Columbia.
Yeah,
that's how they
know
worked
that, yeah.
it. So, you know, I'd have to pay my health, and I always did. I always kept up on it. But then I moved to Japan for 3 years. And on my way out, I called the MSP office and I said, "You guys send me premiums every month. I'm leaving the country. I don't know when or if I'll ever be back. So can you just cancel my health insurance in British Columbia?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll got that covered." So that's fine. I leave. I live in Japan for 3 years, and then I move back in 2011. And I go to sign up for the MSP in, you know, medical insurance, and they're like, "Oh, you're in the rears like thousands and thousands of dollars."
What?
I'm like, "The hell are you talking about? I called you." And they're like, "Well, we got no record of that."
What the fuck? That is wild. That is wild.
So what did they do? They didn't tell me, contact me, or try to anything. They just straight up sent it to collections.
Yeah, that's what they did to like one of my things where I didn't even know up north. And I was like, "You know what, screw you guys." Like, and the worst part is in Canada, when it hits your score, it takes forever to come back up. Down here, you could go into complete bankruptcy. Dude, 7 months later, you're gonna have a clean score.
Oh, that's
7
hilarious.
months. 7 months. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. 7 months later, you're gonna have a clean score. Like, you can go completely bankrupt.
So let's get into it a little bit, because, you know, moving to the United States is like going bankrupt. Honestly, you move to the United States, your Canadian credit score, because I have amazing credit. I'm moving to Texas in a few months, and I go down there, I got zero credit. I got nothing.
Yeah.
So like I had to get like a secured credit card and start spending money on that so I can build my credit and stuff. But so how was it for you? Because I'm an American citizen. So that actually made it a lot easier for me to like sign up for a bank account, do a lot of these other things. But as a Canadian, you went down, you and your husband, you had visas. And how did you get things situated? Like that must have been crazy.
We basically sold everything. My husband came down first, and then he was in company housing. And because I had the pets and all of that stuff, I decided I bought a 40-foot camper, because on site here in the US, I can live on site while I work on site. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, like it worked out perfectly. Like on a rig in Alberta, you're not allowed to have campers on site. Like you are, but like, you know what I mean? It's like -60. You got to have it winterized, all of that stuff.
Right.
Even though our camper is winterized, which by the way, do not take a winterized camper to Texas. You're gonna
Okay.
spend so much money on AC, dudes. Like it is an oven sometimes in that thing, right? And so what we did is we pretty much waited until we both had credit. Like my husband had credit first, then I came down and I just worked. All I did was work, 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 and I just stayed on site. Would go to the next site, work, and so we built up our credit, and then we pretty much put a down payment on a house. And that's how we
Oh,
did
awesome.
it. Yeah, so that's kind of how we did it. But I still travel with my trailer like to site because I don't want to stay in camp or anything like that. And you wake up, you roll, and you're right at work, right? So
Oh,
why
it's
go
got
anywhere else?
that's awesome. Yeah, that's the way
Yeah.
to go. And like when you're working in camp, like you have if you want accommodation, you got to pay for it too, right?
No, the company pays for it, and then if
Oh,
you're not staying in camp, they pay you 75 to 150 depending on like what the day rate is. Right?
yeah,
And so you get right, and you
right.
still go to camp and steal food, so like whatever. You know what I mean? Save a few bucks here and there.
Oh, that's awesome. And how's the attitude at work as well? Is it different down there?
It is. It is so much different. So there's not as many women down here. Like in Canada, everyone just treated me as one of the guys. Now these guys are like comfortable with me to like, you know, treat me like a little brother. But
As
at
long as you
first,
drive a Subaru to site, right?
right, exactly. Yeah. So, but no, they literally treat me like, you know, like when your mom made you hang out with your little brother and you didn't really
Oh
want him
yeah.
there, right? Like that's how they treat me. But at first, they were so polite. They're like, oh my gosh, it's a woman on site. And they're like, ma'am, can I help you? And I was like, bro, what? Did you just call me ma'am? And they're like, we're so sorry for swearing. I'm like, oh, you're going to be sorry when I start talking because like every second word is a swear word. So like, yeah, they're super polite, very helpful. Like honestly, it's actually amazing. Like even the oil patch in Alberta, though, I can't really say anything bad, is amazing as well. And the guys are exactly the same down here. You just got like a little bit of a different humor. There's like one-liners I've never heard before. Like in Canada, I've never heard this before. One of the consultants looked at us or looked at this one kid, and he was like, "That boy's cornbread ain't cooked right through, I can tell." And I was like, dude, what the fuck? And he's like, you've never cooked cornbread? I was like, no. He's like, if it's moist in the middle, she ain't done. Right? So, like,
I love that. That's hilarious.
yeah, so like, you know, you kind of like get different things like that, and but everything's the same. There's way less safety down here. Like you tell safety to fuck right off. Safety has no power, which is awesome. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it'd be good to have safety, but at the same time, like, yeah, no, I've been on job sites. I'm a tradesman, but I work in an auto garage, so it's a little bit different than your realm. But yeah, when the
Exactly.
safety people come in, I was told at one point, I was told that I was gonna have to cut my beard so that I could have a protection mask on
Oh
that could
yeah,
make a perfect seal when I do brakes and clutches. And
yeah.
I said to my boss that time, I said, that is the dumbest reason to quit a job ever. And he never brought it up again.
That is awesome. I love it. See, on like on the rigs, we do have to be clean shaven. Well, I don't because I don't have a beard, but the guys do. Just because of H2S. And I always make fun of it too. I'm like, you guys have to shave your face, and I can just let my hair on my legs grow during the winter. Everyone's like, yeah, that's so gross, Dad. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
So have you had I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with the visa situation that you've got, but are you at this point able to cross the borders? Like, can you go to Canada? Can you go to Mexico?
Oh yeah.
That kind of thing?
Yeah, we can go
Do,
anywhere. Like our visa is an E2 visa, so it's stamped in our passport.
okay, great. Because
Yeah.
this is actually a really great opportunity because people were asking. Actually, some troll was asking earlier about the E2 visa because I had a video that went viral a couple months ago on X, went crazy, well over 1 million views, talking about the E2 visa or the E2 green card. Basically, is what you get out of that process, the national interest waiver. And I knew some of the information that I talked to lawyers about and talked to our friends over at the bridge. but you're someone who's gone through this. So explain this. How does this work?
So you have to invest into the U.S. economy by either buying an existing business or investing a substantial amount of money into a business that you're going to start up. So, for example, if you're buying a business, it has to be more than 100,000 to 150,000 cash. US cash. So you can't do it through a loan because you have to give DHS or Homeland Security like all of your finances for the entire year, where the money came from. So, so you're not money laundering and all of that stuff. And also that you're not borrowing from a bank and then, leaving a country. Like, for example, let's say you borrow 150,000 US from like a Canadian bank. You can't just kind of leave that country and then, like leave behind like I guess the loan or whatever, or you start your own business, which you have to invest 100,000 to 150,000 US into that holding, I guess. So let's say you open up a car shop, right? So like you're going to buy the shop, you're going to buy all the tools, everything needs to be over 100 to 150,000. So that's like the threshold, and then you pretty much give the government a business plan. So you have to get a business planner and they put everything together on how you will grow the economy. And then depending on like what industry you're in, how much will that generate in taxes and revenue for the US government. And then they kind of, okay, so the process was different for my husband and I, because like my husband is born Canadian, so he's Canadian. He only had to do one set of fingerprints, but because I was born in Yugoslavia, and the FBI puts all Yugoslavians on a watch list, I had to do 2 sets of fingerprints, 2 sets of pictures and everything. I had to do one in Canada and one in Lubbock, Texas. And I'm not even kidding. I go in there, I'm like, is it because I'm Yugoslavian? The guy's like, yeah, maybe, right? It's just
maybe.
He's like, yeah, maybe. He's like, or maybe we just need extra security for you. I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, I'm such a badass. So like, yeah, there's like differences, right? But like, you kind of go along with it and you go through the whole process. And then DHS can say no. Like if you put all of that money and everything, if they find one thing, right, they can just say no, and then you lose all of that investment, right? So like it is like quite tricky. So you can't just come here.
You gotta dot all your I's and cross all your T's and make sure you get everything set right.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can't just come here and open up like a bakery, right? Or like a coffee shop, because they're going to be like, okay, well, that's not really worth, this or that. It has to be a pretty serious business. That's why a lot of people buy franchises, right? And so they go into like the franchise business and stuff like that. But
I see.
Yeah. So we kind of
this is how confusing the whole thing is. When I introduced this, I was talking about the EB2, but you have the E2.
Yeah,
so
we have the E2.
That's a different entirely.
Yeah, so the EB2 would be our next step, and you would have to invest 1.2 million USD into the economy over 5 years.
No. So the EB2 is the national interest waiver. That's the one that you used to give to like rocket scientists and stuff like
okay.
that.
I'm so sorry. The EB1 is the one that you need for 1.2 million, and then you kind of get a 10-year visa, and it's almost like a green card because you spent so much money into the US, like into the US economy. Yeah, the EB2 is the interest waiver, where you have such a high position that it's really hard to find people in that position that are like strategic, and that's how they come down like to the States. So
yeah, so the word on the street amongst the lawyers anyway that are working with USCIS, they're saying it's EB2 and EB3. I guess there's a slight difference between the two, but they're actually trying to bring in the national interest is what's changed. Like they're not looking for rocket scientists. Well, I mean, still are, but they're also looking for people who can pour concrete, and they're looking for people who can, plumb pipes together and that kind of thing. So trades are now actually on the national interest for the United States. So they're looking for tradespeople from around the world, especially English speaking. And there's a lot of benefits to being like a Canadian, especially with how strict it is to become a tradesperson in Canada. You're a shoo-in fit for the United States. That is crazy.
Very true. Like our standards are much higher. Do you know what I mean? When it comes to anything, like they want more people to get more things down here, right? So they're going to just kind of pump people out, and if it sticks for you, it sticks for you. Whereas Canada almost kind of keeps you back a little bit. You know what I mean? Okay, so there's that Arcan or Arcon 714 idiot who's like, you can open a bakery or a coffee shop. I said you can. I'm saying it can actually get canceled. And
Oh.
no, you cannot spend $60,000 on an American truck and get an E2 visa. But if you want to be that idiot, then go ahead and try it. Tell me how that works out. Like, fuck me, man. Like, some of these people are like, they're not even here. They've never gone through it. Oh, I'm gonna end up finding a job. I'm gonna get like.
So it's complicated, right? And this is why it's best to get somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about.
Oh,
I got
yeah,
Sandro
like
texting me right now.
Oh,
telling
really?
me, yeah, he's like, EB5 is the one you need to invest $850K to 1.1 million to get a green card, but it needs to be 10 employees and
Yeah,
buttoned
there's way
up.
more.
And
Yeah,
then he
like
says
that.
also the EB2 national interest waiver and the EB3, which doesn't need a degree, is now current and can be filled in a shorter time or filed in a shorter time and while being in the United States. So like, yeah, this is why you talk to people who actually know what the hell you know what I mean? Like,
just talk to a lawyer, because everyone's thing is like different. You know what I mean? Then you get dumbasses like online that say shit like this because they Googled it and they have no idea because they haven't gone through the process yet. And so it's just insane. So, I mean, you're using Sandro as well, right? Like Bridge Consulting. That's
oh
what
yeah,
you
the
use?
bridge is great. So here's the thing, like, I'm an American citizen, but my wife isn't, and my kids need to be naturalized because they were born in Canada. So not only that, like it's really easy I could just walk across the border and start my life as much as I like right now. I could do that. I could have done that 2 years ago or whenever. But there's a process, and there's it's not just the immigration stuff. It's like getting your bank account, getting your credit history, getting your talking to the right people when you're moving to a new place, getting a real estate agent or somebody who's going to help you with a rental. Like, there's so much involved. So I got involved with them. I got myself on like in their network, and life's good. Life's good. It's absolutely set everything at ease for me, because now I have actual professionals that know what the heck they're doing, and I've got no worries.
And that's exactly what they did with me when we were kind of like switching our visas. Like, we went from one E2 to like another E2 to extend it. It just, here's a checklist. This is what we need. Bam, bam, bam. Get that done. Send it over. And they do everything for you. You know what I mean? And then, you pay your fees, whatever. And it was just so much easier than the way we did it the first time. I wish Sandro was up and running when we came to like the US the first time, because
right.
Our lawyer abandoned us. Like, she got my husband's visa, and then she's just like, I'm too busy. She goes, it's super easy to get the spousal E2. You'll figure it out on your own.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah. So it's me, ChatGPT, Google, and me calling the US government being like, I really don't want to get arrested at the border. Can you guys help me answer this? And they're like, don't you have a lawyer? And I was like, she abandoned me, man. So
holy crap. Yeah, it's great having a lawyer. It's great having someone on your side, and it's great having a team of people that'll just back you up. And that's really what it comes down to. And the guys over at the bridge, Sandro in particular, like I know him. I've hung out with them. Like we've all chilled together. Is awesome. He's like family to me now. And yeah, he's helped us out. Anthony's amazing. They have some amazing talent over there, and they've got your back. So for everybody who's curious, because I saw a couple of people saying like, so how do I get this? Peter from Edmonton just put the link in the chat. So it's movetotheusa.com, and that's the number 2, theusa.com, movetotheusa.com. Go over, talk to them. Like, those guys, if and again, and I gotta stress this, I have to stress this, because I'm tired of getting messages on people that are like on the fence. I'm not talking to people on the fence. I'm not talking to people with their elbows up. I'm talking to people who have already decided they want to get the hell out of Canada, and they're looking for a legitimate way to do it, because there's enough of them. There's enough of them. We don't need to convince people. And I'll tell you what, the Americans don't want elbows up people in their population anyway. That's
no one does. Honestly, no one does. And Americans are like, after seeing what Canada's like, they're like, we don't want you. We just want Alberta. And I was like, yeah, That's what I've been trying to warn you guys about. I'm like, Canadians will flood this. You think if the Elbows Up had open borders, they would flood the shit out of it. They would run to Portland, they would run to California, they would run to New York, and they would just make it even shittier than it already is. You know what I mean? They're like viruses. They just kind of like, these liberals just spread into like in normal areas, and they put in their woke mind virus. You know what I mean? And it's like, ugh. So yeah.
So I have the 51 flag. I think it's hilarious. I made it. It's a joke because everyone gets so butthurt. It's kind of like when you work in the trades, and you probably know this a ton, Tiana, is like if something gets under your skin, that's now your nickname for like the next 40 years.
That is so true. That is so true, because I didn't realize. Okay, so I work with a bunch of ex-cons, right? It's the oil field, and I didn't realize that hooped it meant sticking things up your butt. I thought hooped it meant like just displacing something as a prank, so someone doesn't see it. And one guy's like, "You ding dong, did you just use that in a video?" I'm like, "Yeah. What does that mean? Isn't it like hiding something as a prank?" And he's like, "No, it's a prison wallet." And I was like, "They give you prison like wallets in prison?" And
now it's been built in.
So now literally they just call me white and nerdy from Al Yankovic. So like that's literally my nickname for the entire 2 weeks, because I didn't know what hooped it meant. So they called me they're like, she's too white and nerdy to be in jail. So that's now my nickname. I hope it changes when I come back.
But it's true. It's true. Like the thing that gets under your skin is going to be your nickname forever. And that's why I fly this flag. I used to fly the Canadian flag upside down, which a lot of people would get upset. Like, you're flying it upside down. I'm like, yeah, for a reason. It means it's a nation in distress. Right?
Exactly.
And that's the whole thing. But no, I'm going to go with the 51 because it's just funny. It's funny watching people get butthurt about it. Because like,
oh, I love it. Like they're so unhinged. They're like, "You're a traitor. You're not even Canadian." I'm like, well, if I'm not Canadian, then how can I be a traitor, you dumb fuck? Like, oh, people are so painful, dude. Like, you have no idea. Like, this one guy is like, literally, I'm in the US, right? I have one guy who says that I just drive down here to make videos and then I come back to Canada, like that I don't have a visa. Then that dude, he's telling me what visa I have, that I got down here by an employer. And it's like, are people retarded? Like, you're telling me who I am, how I live my life. Like, they're insane. That's why I'm like, go to the professionals. Don't listen to these like Facebook delusional paranoid like freakazoids. Like, just go talk to a professional, talk to a lawyer. Everyone's like thing is different. Sometimes lawyers know different routes and they'll take you down a different route, you know what I mean? And things like that. So that's what I'm kind of just like trying to tell people is go with a professional. Don't try and do it by yourself. Like, you know, when my lawyer abandoned me, but I had no other option, right? So yeah.
Well, we're gonna get into a lot of this about being a traitor with another guest that I got coming in tonight. This is a real treat. Awesome. Tiana, so you were gonna meet up with us, and we were all gonna go for lunch.
Yeah.
But then you went on to Alex Jones, and so he didn't get to meet you. But a good friend of mine, he was supposed to come to that lunch, and now's a perfect opportunity because he's an entrepreneur. He's from British Columbia. And he ended up moving down to Texas, but he moved down here. I'm not in Texas yet. I'll be there soon. But he moved down to Texas, years ago, got his American citizenship, got all that stuff going. And he was going to meet up with us. But he's been dealing with this for a long time because he's not. And well, I mean, I'll just leave it at that for the introductions, but let's just get into this. And everybody, I want to welcome to the show, David Aylett. Welcome to the show, my man.
What's up?
How's it going?
First order of business.
Oh yeah,
I love the pit vipers. Yes.
Oh no, I'm just wearing these because you guys are so bright.
Waka waka.
Waka waka. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, absolutely.
Cheers. I ran out of wine. Well, I still have a little bit left.
Before we get into your story, David, I want to get into some of these super chats. There's a lot of people jumping in here. We got Peter Witten for 5 says, Tiana, how do I start a conversation about the truth with the amazing woman in my life that have the best intentions but are brainwashed by media?
Ooh, I don't know, dude. Get her hired on the rigs for a little bit. That's what kind of gave me my personality. Is just they raised me since I was like 20. I was in the oil patch, a wee young child, all naive thinking that the world is great. And then the, oil patch dudes were like, hey, welcome to real life. Everything's fucked. Everything sucks. Embrace the shit and let's, laugh about it. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I became desensitized. And that's what I would do. I would honestly slowly just plant little seeds in their heads and then let them see for themselves, because you just need to plant those seeds, and then the right conditions will make themselves where something will not add up with the media and they'll start questioning the narrative. I think that's how most of us woke up, that most people that have like normal lives, unless you were like traumatized as shit when you were younger.
It's hard to like when you've realized the truth of what's going on in the world and you tell people that are like totally brainwashed, it's hard to not come across as like that crazy guy with like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how little do I let you know? Like how much do I actually tell you? Because if I just come out and tell everything, I'm just gonna sound like a crazy person. And that's exactly how people see it. We got Sasquatch Chronicles for $9.99. He says, I follow her on Facebook. First time watching, I thought, why is this Texan so interested in Canada? Give her and her husband U.S. citizenship. We will claim them as our own. That's awesome.
Yay! I freaking love Americans. That's all they're like, oh no, you're one of us now. Like we adopted you.
Yeah.
Like, you're a patriot. We freaking love you. And I was like, dude, freaking love you guys, right? Like everything's so much different down here. So many Americans are like, oh, if you guys need any help, we'll totally sponsor you. Like if you get sent out, we'll sponsor you. Like we'll help you out. Like we'll call Trump right now. And I'm like, dude, I freaking love you guys.
Oh, in Canada, you're just a traitor. You're a traitor for every little thing. It's crazy.
Dude,
I can't believe it.
Everyone hates me in Canada. Well, they're not everyone. I shouldn't say that. Like a majority of like the normals like me, but like the liberals hate me, and then the far right hate me. They called me a dirty Slav, and I was like, well, then you can't call me a traitor, you fucking dummies. Like it's either one or the other. You know what I mean? Like fucking pick one, you shit breaks. Anyway, so like yeah, it's just all sides at me, and I just don't give a shit because I've been bullied my entire life. So I think trolling is hilarious, and most of these people get all riled up, and I'm behind the scene just laughing my ass off. I'm like, look at this dummy on the rig. I'm like, what should I say?
That's great. We got another one from Money for Charity. That name sounds familiar. It says www.movetotheusa.com. Get on over there and get your ass down to the United States if that's what you're into. And
Yeah,
I want to emphasize that. I want to emphasize that. I'm not trying to convince people who are on the fence. Again, if you like Mark Carney and you like that stuff, that's great. Great. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Because it's not going anywhere. So David, I want to talk to you about this because you've been in the States for a while. You still own property in Canada. You're dealing with that. That's crazy. I met you at the Conservative Convention in BC. So for the Conservative Party of British Columbia, which was a shit show. It was just something else entirely. I don't even know how to describe it. Yeah, go grab one. We come right back. Yeah. Oh, well, okay. So we got could have just got the background, but whatever.
We'll just drops off. Yeah.
We'll just keep that. Once she's back, we'll pop her back in. But yeah, so you've dealt with this for a very long time, and you even went on to what was his name? Rick Walker, the guy. He was a conservative, but then I guess I can't remember his name. Anyway, the guy, you went on to his podcast, and they just sat there and it was two hosts just laying it into you that you were a traitor because you left and you brought your business to the United States and all that. Tell me about it. Tell me about your experience as someone who's, expatriated from Canada. You love the United States. You moved your business is exploding. That's just the way it is, right?
Yeah. Well, I moved back. I moved back to Canada.
You'd moved back for a while.
Yeah, so I left in 15, and it was actually pretty neat. So I was working at a company. So this is for anyone that works at a company. I was in sales, and they said, I went to a convention in Dallas, and I was just blown away because I'm from Vancouver Island. Biggest city I'd ever seen was Victoria. And I remember flying into Dallas. T, you probably remember this, flying into Dallas. I don't know if you flew to Dallas. And it was just like 10 minutes. You're flying over the city for 10 minutes, and you're like, this place is enormous. How big? And it's green. I thought I was going to Texas, like with the bushes that like roll and stuff, and it was going to be like this dry, and it was green everywhere. And I went to Texas for this convention, and when I came back to my corporate job in Canada, I said, "Look, guys, like I'm moving to Texas," and they're like, "No, you're not. You can't just leave." And I said, "No, I'm either going to work for you or I'm going to go work for the competitor." And they were like, they called corporate, and they're like, "Yeah, so when do you want to go?" It was like
no
that.
kidding. It was that easy.
Yeah, and it was actually really strange. So it took 2 months to get my paperwork done, and there was no like filing, there was no meetings, there was no back and forth with the U.S. government. I literally showed up at the border with a stack of paper about that thick that some lawyers had put together, and they let me through, and I got my green card right there at the border. And
Awesome.
yeah, it was pretty neat. And then so it was great. So typical young Canadian, right? Like I had kids young. I was living, in a duplex, in a small town, kind of 45 minutes outside of the city, and fully in debt. Me and my wife fully in college debt. Student. Well, you don't call it college up there. Student debt at the University of Victoria. Or higher education, and so just fully in debt. Max credit cards, mortgage, debt. And I think it was like 2 years and everything had been paid off.
Shit.
Everything had been paid off. And so it was great, So then like we were there for 2015 to 2023 and making money. Like it was like the first, we had money. We could go do things. And so we made money. Like we paid low tax, we made money. And we missed our family. It was like 8 years in the States. And we're like, you know what? It's time to go home. So we sold our house. And I actually sent you a link, Clyde. You might want to like bring up that link at some point. I sent you a link on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And we sold our house, which we had bought for like $300,000 with like a pool and like all this stuff in everything. Like it had everything, a quarter of an acre in a beautiful town with amazing schools. We sold our home, and that's not my home. I could actually send you my home if you want to see it. But that's like that's 350 grand. That's like a 4-bed house. So I mean, that's brand new. That's a brand new home. Like that's a 2026 home. Say what you want about new construction, but so yeah. So we sold our house and we moved back to Canada. And this is where it starts getting nuts. This is where I had known. I started to realize I hadn't followed Canadian politics. It was like Justin Trudeau got elected in 2015. We moved right at that time, and then weed became legal. And I was like, "Ah, shucks, just missed it. Just missed the legalization of pot." And so like we moved. I'm not like a big pothead. I just thought it was funny that like I moved at that time. And then so I hadn't really followed Canadian politics, or like what was really happening back there. I was so involved in what I was doing in Texas. And this is where things got weird. So we go to move back, right? We have money. We're ready to buy a house. We're ready to, bring our business and our, what we had made of ourselves in Canada back, or in America back to Canada. And we couldn't get a mortgage. And we were like, what are you talking about? Like we owned a home for 5 years in Canada. We paid all our Canadian taxes. We even paid taxes to Canada for a brief period while we were in the States. That MSP thing you were talking about, I had the exact same thing. I was living in America, still having to pay MSP for some strange reason for like an extended period of time.
But I even called them and said, I'm going to be leaving.
It was so weird, right? It's so weird. So this is where it got weird. So to get a mortgage in Canada, I had to get a mortgage from a Chinese company. Canadian companies couldn't give me a mortgage because I needed 2 years of Canadian tax returns. That's where it started getting messed up. And it's a kind of a funny story. We like stayed in an Airbnb for like 3 months. It was like so bizarre. My golden retriever had puppies in the Airbnb because she got pregnant like before we left. Like it's wild. Like I got stories that just get you rolling. But that's where it got weird. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. So Chinese mortgage. And so it was cool. Like we came back to Canada, we had money, we were, helping out our friends, our family, and this. And after 2 years, we were just broke and miserable like everyone else. Like 2023 to 2025 literally broke me. Like the amount of money that we owe in taxes was like more than I had made in Canada. Like it was just what happened is when I moved back to Canada, I got taxed on my entire American income in America, and then I had to pay all the Canadian taxes too. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm literally bringing my money that I earn in America, that I pay full tax in America, and I'm bringing that money to Canada and spending it here. There's no write-offs. There's no like, oh, thanks for pulling money from the States and paying my taxes.
How do they justify that? Because like that's like when
it's
I lived in Japan, I didn't have to pay any back taxes for any of the things that I earned.
I was living in Canada. I was earning money in the States, paying full income in the States, full income tax in the States. Not dodging anything. Like I'm not smart enough to do any of that. Like I probably should have like an accountant. Like I'm paying tax in the States, and then I'm bringing this money to Canada, and I'm spending tons of money in Canada. Buying vehicles for my family or whatever, having like I'm spending money, and the Canadian government's like, oh, thanks for bringing this money. By the way, you owe 45% taxes on all this money. And now I can't renew my mortgage because I got this stupid, crazy tax bill out of nowhere. And so I got to sell my house. I have to sell my house in Canada that I worked my whole life. I worked my whole life to buy this house, and it's gone because the Canadian government will not allow my mortgage to be renewed until 100% of those taxes are paid. I can't go on a payment plan. Like I was totally surprised how much taxes. Yeah, screwed. Fuck? Can't do it. And so I'm literally losing my home where my mother-in-law lives there. I mean, she probably wants to move. It's like, I don't know, whatever. She probably doesn't like living in my basement or whatever, but it's a decent basement.
It's a little bougie. It's a little bougie in Victoria.
Yeah, whatever. But hey, it ain't that bad. But no, I'm losing my home. I worked my entire life to buy this home, and the Canadian government will not work with me. I can't go on a payment plan. Got great credit or whatever. Never missed a mortgage payment. And they're like, nope, you pay us or you don't get to renew your mortgage. I don't even understand how they can interfere in that. But that's how far the overreach is.
Holy shit. So I actually read about that. That's why we sold everything. Like I sold everything, shut down bank accounts, told them, hey, this is the last year I'll be in Canada. You do whatever you need to with taxes. What I owe is what I owe. What they owe me is what they owe me. And then I just cut it all loose, closed down everything. Like literally everything, all of my bank accounts, everything, just so I don't have to pay the taxes that I pay here plus in Canada. So
and the Canadian taxes are higher. You have to pay.
Yeah.
Trump did something kind of cool though. One thing that Trump did was he made it. I don't know how he did this, but I don't say he bullied the Canadian government into doing this, but he made it so that it used to be you paid double tax. But now the taxes that I have to pay, and it's still like I didn't know I'd have to pay this much tax. Hindsight, get an accountant, David. But and all respect to my wife, she does our taxes. She does an amazing job. But I'm sure there's ways we could have done this better. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Hold on.
What? All right, that's what happens when you do.
Oh yeah, Trump made it so that instead of paying double tax, you pay the difference. So if you're going to get paid 30% tax in Canada and America charges you 15, then you pay the 15 to America, but then Canada can only take 15%. I don't know how he did that.
Oh,
but
wow.
It was probably yeah. So you pay the difference now.
So I know as an American, right? So like if you live in a low tax jurisdiction, there's a global tax on American citizens. So you have to pay your federal income tax. You still have to pay that. But if the tax in the jurisdiction that you live is higher than the taxation in America federally, you write it off and you don't pay anything. You still have to file though, right? And that's how that works. But so for example, if you live in Japan, which is a low tax jurisdiction, Americans that live there end up having to pay a little bit to the federal government. But if you live in Canada, you never pay a penny to the federal government in the United States because they look at Canada as a communist country that takes all your pennies. Like that's pretty much what it is. It's crazy. And I really love that Donald Trump has done a huge thing on one thing in particular that's going to affect me in a couple of months' time when I'm down there in Texas with you guys. And that's tax on tips. So people who leave super chats in the chats, I have to pay a portion of that to the Canadian federal government now, and the provincial government of British Columbia. Once I'm in Texas, the only person taking a cut of that is Google. But let's get into one of these, a couple of these. We got one from JP Alberta first for $50. Thank you so much, man.
Dang.
He says everybody should get a chance to work in the trades or oil patch. There is where the work is shit on your body, the stress is shit on your head, and no one around gives a fuck, but they'll back you up to the end. And that's absolutely true. And this is the reason why I think that people are so harsh on you in the trades, is because they're trying to get you used to the idea of being under stress. And if you can work under stress, then we'll all work together fine. And that's the whole idea. If I ever need you and I need you to back me up and it's stressful, I need to know that you're good for it. And I agree with JP on this one, because people need to experience that.
They
What do you
really
guys
do.
say on that?
Honestly,
You know what?
100%. Oh, sorry. I'm like, literally, the guys will roast the absolute crap out of you. And I know a lot of women don't understand that. But when they roast each other, it means they like each other. If they're polite to you, it means they don't trust you, right? And if they're super nice to you, that means they want to fuck you. So if they're roasting you, that means
they hate your guts, man. If
they
never
hate
talk
your
to you,
guts. Oh
Yeah.
Like I had a flat tire and I didn't have a jack. So I literally I did as much as I could. And I'm like, I don't have a jack. Like I can't take this thing off. And these guys literally came in 5 minutes. Like the rig was 10 minutes away. They came in 5 minutes and they changed my tire over. And then they roasted the absolute shit out of me for the rest of the day. They're like, can you lift this? Can you lift this? Right? And I was like, fuck, I rather would have just gotten eaten by like a freaking bear out there. Like next time, let me die. Right? And they
didn't bring you a sandwich?
No, they didn't, because they were saying like, oh, I'm a strong, independent woman, but I literally didn't have a jack, but that didn't matter. Like that was just a detail. And they're like, look at the strong, independent woman who needs us to fix her tire. And I had to take the shit for a week. I had to be like, yeah, that's too heavy for me. Look at me, I'm an independent. Because if you like react, then they're just like even more down your throat. And they will literally do it until you have no ego, nothing left, and you're so down to earth. But they would help me out, right? But like I would fucking pay for it for like 2 weeks straight. Just like I said before, I didn't know what hooped it meant, and now I'm being called white and nerdy Al Yankovic. So
that's hilarious. Okay, we got another one from Rick Yem for $5. He says, this is more proof that our government just looks at us as dollar signs, not human beings. Pay up, peasants. That's absolutely right. That's all they care about. Like, and here's the thing, like you two both are so generous with not only like your time and everything. Like it's crazy. And the government just take full advantage of that. Like when I met you, David, you're just crazy dude. Like you got so much energy. You sound so calm tonight.
It's the beer. It's
crazy. But I gotta tell you guys a story. Like when I met David, I met him at the conservative AGM in British Columbia for the Conservative Party, which ended up turning out to be a big giant flop of a party. And whatever, we can get into that some other time. But so we go there, and who's there? It's like me, Mr. Sunshine Baby, and David rocks up, and what's his name? Wyatt Claypool's there. We're all having a bunch of fun. Brent Chapman came in. He was hanging with us. There was a bunch of people, and there was people from the federal Conservative Party there, and they were chatting with us, and I was giving them the gears about Pierre Poilievre and not going on podcasts, which he's now going on podcasts.
Now he's doing it. He's doing it.
Thanks for doing it when it doesn't matter. Like, dude, he's an Andrew Scheer. It's crazy. So,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So, but the thing is, so I met David, and I told him, I said, like, here's my plan. I'm moving to Texas, or I want to move to America, and I'm trying to convince my wife. We're looking at Texas, and we want to find places. And he's like, well, my business is in Texas. I go there. You were at this point living in Canada. And you're like, yeah, I go for 10 days a month. And I hear a lot of things from people like, yeah, I'll take you out to see places. Everybody, I got a call from David. 15 days later, and he's like, all right, we're going. I got your airfare and hotels and everything. Let's go. We're gonna go for 10 days. I'll show you around. I'll show you everything. I'm like, what? For real? And he's like, yeah, let's do this. And I called my boss. I'm like, I got an opportunity that's probably never ever gonna happen again. So I'm just gonna roll with this. Sorry, I can't be at work for the next 10 days.
Yeah, and you're like one of 50 mechanics in Canada willing to stay. So he was like, as long as you come back.
No, he knew I was leaving. He already knew I was leaving. craziest 10 days.
Remember when we were shooting the BMG, the 50 cal inside, and it was blowing tiles off, or like it like blew the thing off the wall or whatever?
So we did a lot of shooting.
And
we
then
did a lot of shooting.
We snuck into the comedy mothership, basically, like our
not with
friend,
the
like,
BMG. I mean, you're
not with the BMG. Yeah, not with the BMG.
Yeah,
But we,
I was like, you
we,
can't even
snuck
go in there with a cell phone.
We like snuck into the comedy mothership. That was ridiculous. That
We didn't
was so
sneak
funny.
in. You somehow sweet talked the.
I didn't do nothing. Mark Henderson did it. I went up there and I was like, "Hey guys, we're from Canada. Can we buy tickets?" And the guy was like, "Are you dumb? Like,
Are you on crack?
no,
Like, what are
yeah,
talking
you have
about?
to buy them online. They sell out within 30 seconds, and it's like a lottery." And then I just like walked away with like the most disappointed, sad face ever. And my English friend Mark Henderson, his name's Horizontal Henderson, because he got clotheslined. He got clotheslined in the middle of the field, ass naked, during like a Manchester United game, and it was posted all over the UK. And then after that, he went on Big Brother like twice on Big Brother. So his name's Horizontal Henderson. He can't go anywhere.
Again, that's how you get your nicknames, right?
Yeah,
anybody who has
Horizontal
anybody who
Henderson
tells you that your nickname is like lightning or
it's not.
or something.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah,
Horizontal Henderson, isn't it?
He goes up to this guy. He goes up to the bouncer. He goes up to the bouncer and he's like, "What's your problem, mate?" And the guy's like looking at him like stern, like doesn't say anything. And he's like, Mark is like, "Is it just your job to just disappoint people? Is that your job?" And the bouncer in the back, like the manager, like the big guy, laughed so hard. He's like, "Who are you? You're coming in here right now. Grab your friends." But that's how we got in. It's because
I didn't know that.
Mark cracked jokes because he's a comedian.
Marty up north and I were at a podcast studio 4 blocks away.
You were
doing the
Ben Bankus.
No,
Ben Bankus that night.
No, it wasn't Ben Bankus that night. I was with Marty up north that night. Because
Oh,
you
that's
told
right.
you got Marty to fly down so we could do the Wednesday night show in Texas live. And so we did that, and we're at a podcast studio 4 blocks away, and you're ringing us up. We're trying to get a hold of you, and then you ring me up and you're like, get to the mothership now. We're getting in. Like, what?
Yeah. And they gave us like VIP seats and stuff.
Yeah.
That was insane. That was insane. I want to make 2 comments. Can I make 2 comments? I don't
Give
know,
her.
like, okay.
Give her.
So there was a super chat, a green super chat that came up, and I don't know if you can cycle.
Oh, just
back
now.
to
Yeah, I'll
those.
pop it up. So this is Jack.
Oh no, not
Jack
that
Dawson.
one. No, you can put that one.
Okay.
No, you can put that one. So
Well,
I said,
you're
to be
gonna
clear,
wait. You're gonna have to wait.
clear,
because now
to
I've
be
got it
clear.
up on the screen.
Yeah,
So
to be clear,
Jack
I am
Dawson-
not currently a pothead. I smoked weed every single day since I was 13 till I graduated, until I left Canada. I smoked weed every single day, right? That's why I was like, oh shucks. Currently, I'm
shucks.
not a pothead.
But you can
get it.
smoke weed in Texas. I mean,
You can.
We'll get into that, but
in Austin you can, or whatever. It's
so
it's
Jack
actually
Dawson.
sold everywhere.
Hold on, Jack Dawson for 5 says, Dave, you were saying you weren't a huge pothead, but be honest though. Tell him what you did together, Dave.
I said not currently. Oh, we used to cut the bottoms off milk jugs and stick them in a sink and like use the physics of suction to pull the 2-liter bottle up, to take a sink toke and then
They
just
call that like a
die.
lung or something. They call it. They call it.
No,
they got a
lung
name for
has a
that.
bag attached to it. Get your terminology.
I don't know. I'm not a pothead. I drink beers and stuff.
Yeah. No, but there was one before. There was like 2 before that, 3 before that. I can't remember. It was an important one, and I had like the polite thing. The polite thing. You guys were talking about polite, and how like if they're polite, they actually hate you. So there's this thing about Canadians are so polite, right? Canadians, oh, they're so polite. Oh, yeah, because they're fucking talking shit about you constantly behind your back. It's like this gossip culture, and it's like and what you talk about the brotherhood, right? Of like roasting you. Something I really noticed when I moved to Canada, for starters, high school football games, unreal. The thing about inclusivity, it's nuts, right? It's nuts. There's something for everybody. You know, if you can't play a band instrument, if you can't play football, if you can't cheer or do, you can run the flag. And there's like entire crew. They like run the flags of the country, of the state, of the high school team in between every single touchdown. Like there's everyone is included in sports. And this brotherhood
and not
thing is,
not in a gay way, not in like the LGBT way, not
No,
in, not
no,
in
I
the,
mean,
not in the
no.
like everybody's included. We're gonna make space for everyone. Like where it brings,
No, no,
where,
yeah,
where it
no,
brings
it's
where it brings everybody down. Where like the lowest common
yeah,
denominator
yeah.
is like
No, it
now
brings
the
everyone
barrier to,
up. It brings everyone
it
up.
brings
And it's
everyone
like
up. And that's
there's
great.
this
I love
brotherhood
that.
thing that happens when you're down here where it's like you're everyone, even if you're in like different trade industries, if you're in different walks of life, it's like for some reason everyone wants to help each other. Like I was sitting at a hotel bar talking to these guys. They're like, we work at LG, like the cell phone electronics company, LG, sitting at a cell phone bar. And he's like, what do you do? And I'm like, I pick up trash and I do some recycling. And literally they're like, oh, you should come on down to our place and check out our place. And I'd never been to a place. And this was a warehouse the size of Victoria, BC. Like this thing was millions of square feet. And they're just like walking me through, like, can you recycle that? Can you? And it's kind of, and I'm not trying to say Texans are dumb. I'm not trying to say this. But
No,
there's so much opportunity down here to just recycle. Like they're throwing cardboard in the trash. And I'm like, that's worth money, and it's like
people are just
it's like,
eager to show you what they do. I find
yeah,
like
they're eager to
and
show
they're excited
you.
to talk about it. Like people are
There's this
excited.
thing.
Like
They
work
love people.
is not a burden to them. Work is a way of life. It's an enjoying, fulfilling venture that they've embarked in. And I like that. I want to be proud of what I do. I like that I'm a mechanic. I'm gonna be putting it down when I get to Texas because I got so much other stuff that I'll be doing. But I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. And I always have been. Every time I go to work, I'm proud of that. I couldn't bear to be like so many people that they do this like 9 to 5 thing and they begrudgingly wake up and go do it. How do
If
you
you had to
live
give
like
half
that?
of your income away, if you had to give, I was trying to do some math the other day. Like, say you made $100,000 in Canada, and you pay your income tax, and you pay your property tax, and you pay your fuel tax, and you pay all these extra taxes on your food. I was trying to do the math, and I was like, do people keep like, is like 80% of your income going to like tax somehow? Like, I was trying to do the math, and it was just incomprehensible. And then it's like, what do you pay in income tax in Texas? Zero. What do you pay in like food taxes at, when you go buy your $2.50 non antibiotic, like organic milk for like $3 and your like $5 organic chicken? You pay no tax on any of this food. It's like, what do you pay? You pay 8.25% on what you buy, and you pay high property tax. And property tax is high in America, but you know what? It keeps the money local. It's so important. It keeps the money in the community, because instead of that money going to the provincial or state government and federal government, it goes to the municipal government. And you know what they do with that? They built $50 million football stadiums for the kids.
Yep.
Well, Governor Abbott's talking about abolishing
And hire
it,
cops.
right?
Yeah. I mean, they do build crazy.
Governor Abbott's talking about getting rid of the property taxes, just the same as they did in Florida. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Just
talking
like,
about it. I don't know.
Way. Are you serious?
Yeah, as they did in Florida. In
That
Florida,
would give like every person like $5,000 a year minimum.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That would, the economy would just like, I couldn't even imagine what that would do. $5,000. That's like everyone gets to go on vacation once a year. Like,
so, and it's not on it's not the argumentation of like, we'll put more money into the economy as normally they do when they try to lower taxes. This is on ideological grounds. This is the idea that if you own a property, but then you can have a lien put on your property because you're in arrears of paying your taxes, then you don't actually own it. So it's fundamentally not property ownership if the government can just take it away from you because you've got to.
What are they going to do? Build more toll roads? Like, how are they going to pay for all this stuff?
Yeah, so that's the thing. So in Florida, what they've done is they've increased sales taxes on certain areas, and that's what they're looking at. Basically, they want people who come in to see Disneyland and do all that stuff. They're going to pay the taxes. instead of the locals. And the
I'm
locals
down with
are like,
consumption tax,
yeah,
dude. I'm down with
awesome.
consumption tax. I think consumption tax is I mean, that's a great way to go. I never would have thought
As
in my
long
life
as that's the
property
only
would be-
tax on
It makes total sense.
the thing, right?
Yeah, we already
you pay
don't
a
have
tax
income.
for
Yeah.
But like in Canada, for example, they got consumption taxes on all the things. Like, you know,
Mhm.
you guys are drinking cheap drinks tonight. I'm not.
Dude,
I'm drinking
dude,
things that are made in the
24
United
case,
States or whatever.
24 case of Michelob, $25.
Dudes, $16 Canadian wine is $3 here at HEB. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
$3.
no doubt.
We freaking
Yeah,
I can get wine at the dollar store. You can listen to me, Canada. You can get wine at the dollar store for $3
At any gas station. Yeah, at any
and
gas
a
station.
gas station.
Meanwhile, while you're buying your $3 Canadian wine, Canada's pulling all the American wine off the shelves, right, in Ontario. And
Oh, what a
BC.
stupid
Exactly.
thing.
It's
What a
just so
stupid thing.
ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
$3, people.
Why do you
$3
hate-
wine. If that
$3
does not get
wine.
you down to the US,
Why do you
I'm
hate
telling
yourself,
you,
Canada? Why do you hate yourself? Why do you hate yourself so much?
I literally thought that was a tampon box, and you started. I was like, "Is this the Canadian version?"
These tampons are so good.
It's yummy.
I want to
Ladies,
show you guys something. I'm going to show you guys something. Look at this. So you know how RFK Jr. You know how RFK Jr. is doing this whole food thing, right? Robert,
Yeah.
you know, RFK. Okay, check
Yeah.
this out. All right, box of cereal, right? Box of cereal.
Oh,
right?
it's cereal. That top just looked like a tampon box.
It
I'm so
does.
sorry,
Yeah.
dude. It
Yeah.
does.
I should have
right?
had a tampon stuck in there and just pulled it out. Just wait for episode 2. That's gonna happen. But for real, okay. It says organic, right? But cereal is probably the worst food on the planet for you, right?
Yup.
Right? Not in America. Check this out. Look at these ingredients. Can you read that? Wait, hold on. Wait.
No. It's,
Nah.
There's 5 ingredients. There's 5 ingredients in the cereal box. Organic whole grain wheat, organic cane sugar, sea salt, organic barley, malt extract.
Shit.
That's it. That's
Pretty
all
basic.
That's all you're doing. Oh, but then you can't forget the Bucky's pickled quail eggs.
Bucky's! Yeah.
Buc-ee's. Let's talk about
Bucky's
Bucky's.
is great.
Can we
Bucky's
talk
is
about your
amazing.
reaction to Bucky's? Clyde, what was your
Yeah,
reaction to
give her.
Buc-ee's? No, your reaction to Bucky's. I'm like, Clyde, you got to come check out this gas station and go.
Yeah. Okay.
go.
So yeah, he's like, we're in Texas. We're traveling around because we first went to Dallas, and then we went to Austin, and then we drove to Houston. So we were on the highway a lot. And he's like, I gotta take you to Bucky's. It's a really awesome gas station. I'm like, okay, we'll go to a gas station. Cool. Cool. That's like the thing you gotta show me. All right.
Oh, I forgot you guys could see me. Fuck. Shit. I'm just trying to fish a quail egg out here.
Yeah. No, you're on camera, dude.
I was watching
forgot.
that whole thing.
I
I was like,
forgot
you
about
got
that.
it. You got it, but then you lost it.
I was
so-
using a pen. I was trying to stab it with this pen.
Dude,
Okay.
that is so oil patch. It's
Okay,
like,
go.
who needs
Oh
utensils?
wow.
Fucking stabber.
I'm gonna, Clyde. I told you earlier. I'm gonna hurt myself in these quail eggs.
Oh, only on Clyde Do Something and only on a Friday night. Tune in every week, ladies and gents. So he's like, yeah, we got to go to this gas station called Bucky's. And so we find one, we stop, and we roll in, and I'm like, whoa, how many pumps do they got? And it was like,
Yeah, right?
it was like, whoa, it's like, you know when you're in like an elevator and there's a mirror on both sides, and you're like, dude, why did you do this? And it just goes on forever. That's how it felt. But you're in a gas station. It's just pump. It just keeps going.
Hundreds of gas pumps.
And then we go into the store thing, and their big prideful thing is like the cleanest toilets in America at these truck stops. And dude, it's like pristine, like super vaulted ceilings.
How much does the toilet crew make an hour? Remember?
This is the crazy part. So on the outside, and I had to snap a photo. I made a video all about this. So on the outside, walking in, there's a sign saying like, "Be part of the Bucky's team," and it shows like the positions that they hold, and you know, entry level position to be a washroom cleaner, like going in and cleaning the toilets. They start you at $20 an hour.
Check your
US.
WhatsApp. Pull up what I just sent you on your WhatsApp.
Did you send me the photo?
Yeah, I
of it?
did.
Oh, I just
Mhm.
sent a message to him like I'm gonna go get more wine. So if you guys see me
Oh
disappear,
yeah. No, don't disappear. Just like walk away,
Yeah,
and
don't
we get the
disappear.
background.
Walk away, because otherwise
And
it's like. Otherwise
Yeah, then
it's
I don't have
important.
to like change the thing.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, dudes. I'll just walk away. Hold on.
Yeah,
hold on.
just walk away. We'll see you in a second.
There's
I'm
a little
walking away.
Texas background there.
I'm
Dealer.
walking away.
Where
We
do you
get to
where do you
see-
live? Like the Shire with your stone house and your wood ceilings? What is this?
Oh,
Is
she's
this
walking.
the
She's walking just behind to grab some things.
Oh,
That's
that's great.
hilarious.
That's why she turned off her camera. She's like, I'm not an alcoholic, I promise. Let me turn this off.
I was stealth. That was so stealth.
Yeah, that's why you turned your camera off.
That's why
why
you turned the camera off. I
That's
You
get
turned
why
your
it
camera
now.
off last time because you're like, I can't
I
let them
kept-
know I drink wine.
Exactly, and I kept eye contact the whole time to make it creepy and weird. I was just
Oh,
like,
that's freaking hilarious. All right, yeah, give me a second. I gotta pull this image up. I gotta do a few things to make that happen. Open the link, and it always opens in the wrong window, and then I'll pop it down here.
So T, you work in the oil field still?
Oh yeah,
in
dude.
Texas?
I will never quit the oil field
There
because
he
I'm
is.
too fucked up
Look at
and
this.
I'm meant to work with normal people.
Okay, look at this. This is mental though, right?
So
Restroom crew.
restroom crew is $20 an hour. It says no experience necessary. You can start at Buc-ee's with no experience, zero, right out of high school or whatever, and get a job for $20 an hour in America. And get this. So 401k, 100% match up to 6%, 3 weeks paid time off, paid vacation for 3 weeks. That's better than Canada. Canada,
Yeah.
they made it legal, like you legally have to get 4% of your pay. So that's 2 weeks. They're like, we're gonna one up that. You get 3 weeks. And here's the thing: you can use it, cash it, or roll it. So you can bank it for the next year or whatever you want to do. Healthcare is offered with the job. So I mean, like, just imagine that being like $600 in your
Well,
pocket.
yeah. What about your Canadian healthcare? You don't get healthcare in the States. You do if you work at a gas station.
You do if you work anywhere, basically.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty
crazy.
much. If you work, you get healthcare. That's pretty much how it works.
Part-time is available because some people just don't want to work full-time jobs, I guess. But like, it's a full-time job.
And $2 an hour more for overnight. $2 an hour more for overnight.
So if you do the overnight shift for cleaning the toilets with no experience, zero, you get $22 an hour, plus healthcare, 401k matching, and all of this stuff.
And how much do you pay in income tax on that money in Texas? How much Texas income tax do you pay?
Okay, so get this. So I did the math and I worked it out based on how much I'd be making when I get down there. And I'm not gonna say exactly how much I make, but it's not in the low end of the tax bracket. It's up there, right? So I make a decent amount of money. And my tax burden to the government, like to the government in general, like as an entrepreneur, and we're talking like after paying social insurance, social security, after paying Medicaid and all these other things that you're obligated to, it was sub 20%. It was like 18 and change % of my income. That's crazy.
Cheers to that.
Cheers
Heck
to
yeah,
that.
cheers
I
to
can't wait.
that.
I can't wait.
America. I love Canada. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong though. Don't get me wrong. Like, we had friends visit us from America. This is, I don't know if people who know Vancouver Island, you know where Port Renfrew is, right? Like Port Renfrew, it's a drive. And they literally like showed up and they're like, we're going to Port Renfrew. And of course, these crazy Americans that just freaking drive, they did the whole thing like out. Oh no, they did Tofino out and back in one day. It's like 12 and a half hours of driving.
That's too much.
Yeah, no, they left and we like saw them for dinner the same day and they loved it. They're like, oh my gosh, Vancouver Island's so beautiful. And like Canada's so beautiful. And there's a lot of great things about Canada. And I don't want to just say like people are fleeing Canada in droves, because I don't know. I'm not a stats person, but I can tell you that there's people who, you know, lift up the veil just a little bit just to like peek across the border. And it's those people that are actually like taking a minute to see what's across the border.
They're out in 6 months.
Like,
They're
wow,
like, I'm out of here. Forget it.
Yeah, as soon as they see the light of what a life can be, it's just they just run for it, you know.
And this is why I think that the propaganda outlets are really going overboard.
It's terrible.
They're going overboard, and they're trying to scare people and say like, "Oh, ICE is gonna get you. You're just gonna be sitting in your car, and all of a sudden you're gonna get 5 bullets in your chest." It's like, let's not talk about what those people were doing at the time that they got the 5 bullets, right? And we're gonna ignore what these people did when they got detained by ICE or anything like that, and that's it. It's just fear porn. It's fear propaganda.
Fear porn. Wow, that's a
It is,
because it's an extreme unreal version of fear, right? And I think that for me, like, I have so many people that text me, my friends and people I've never met before, that just text me and go, hey Dave, I'm thinking of moving to the US and all this, and I can't express enough of what America did for me and my family. This is a great story. So for people who know me, I have a lot of kids. Okay. I didn't like choose to have 5 kids. I chose to have 3 kids, and then we had triplets at the end. Okay. So they were tiny. Awesome. They were tiny. They were teeny tiny babies. And the triplets are born early. They're premature, right? And so they're born at 28 weeks in the hospital, they call it a NICU, right? Neonatal intensive care unit. And I'm going to send you a quick photo, Clyde. This is actually kind of unbelievable. I'm going to send you this photo. You can share it. It's a pretty wild photo. Okay. So we're in the NICU, right? And my wife and I are kind of freaking out because we're like, American healthcare is so expensive, and like, all this stuff. But of course,
that's what they tell you. It's not necessarily true, right?
Well, no. And so this is what's crazy. So we go to the NICU, and we're, emergency service. There's like 17 doctors in this room, because there's a respiratory specialist for each baby. Like, I'm everything. I'm every emotion. Look at the size of that little foot, right?
Look at that.
That's just nuts. Eh? So teeny tiny babies, right? And
wow.
28 weeks is super early. Triplets are usually born early, but like 28 weeks. And so we're in this hospital. They give us our own private, it was like a hotel room with like free food whenever we wanted. It was like room service whenever we wanted it. And like, we just felt so cared for, and everyone was so good. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm going to be in debt for the rest of my life. We have insurance. But like, okay, so check this out. So we get out of the hospital. The bill was $1.4 million. That's what the hospital bill was. It was
shit.
But our cost was $14,000. That's what it cost us for 78 days. And when we talked to the hospital,
78 days.
78 days we were in the NICU.
Holy cow.
Yeah. But this is the awesome thing. And I'm going to tell people about healthcare real quick after this. So we called the hospital, and we were like, we don't have 14 grand to pay you right now. And it wasn't like, oh, well, then you can't renew your mortgage. It wasn't like Canada, right? It was like, oh,
because that's Canada. That's Canada, and that's how they operate. That's crazy.
It was like, okay, how much can you pay? And I was like, oh, I don't know, like right now. And they're like, no, like when can you pay and how much? And I was like, I don't know, I'm like $1,000 right now, and then I don't know. And they're like, well, why don't you just tell us what you can pay and when you can pay it, and we'll set up a plan. Yep. So literally I paid off that 14 grand. I don't know how long it took us. But it was like as much as we wanted to pay, kind of when we wanted to pay it. It didn't affect my credit. I didn't have anyone calling me, harassing me. It was just like, pay when you can. And I was like, this is incredible. Like, yeah, you got to pay. And the care was unreal. Like, I'm telling you, like, room service, we had our own bed, like, it was amazing, and all this stuff, right? And wow, I started looking into this. If you go to an emergency room, if you have a horrible accident, you go to an emergency room, they have to treat you. They don't have a choice. They have to treat you. And if you don't have health insurance and you can't afford the treatment, they can't do anything about it. They don't take your house. They don't hit your credit. There's nothing they can do about it. They have to treat you. There's a hospital in Dallas. It's the same hospital. Every big city has these hospitals. Same hospital that JFK went to when the whole, thing happened to him.
Well, yeah,
And yeah,
I don't know if you got the best medical. Sorry,
I don't think there's any good medical can do when that happens to you. Yeah, maybe
you
if
need a
Elon was
priest.
born,
You need a
maybe
priest
if
at that
Elon
point.
Musk came along, 50 years prior, maybe, I don't know. But they have to treat you, and homeless people go there all the time. There's homeless people amongst illegal immigrants as well, and they treat everybody, and it's literally free. It's free treatment. So like there's nobody out there who needs treatment that can't get treatment due to financial stress or duress. Like you will be taken care of in America. Yeah, if you make money and you choose not to pay into the health insurance system, yes, you can go bankrupt. But when you go bankrupt, you'll still have health care. It's not like they're like, oh, you can't pay. Well, I guess the only option for you is dying on the street. Which honestly, dying on the street in America, I mean, at least they're not coming up to you and being like, there's a joke. I tell the joke. I do stand up. This is the joke. So I had this injury. I went to Israel because my dad's Jewish from Israel, and they said, yeah, we can fix you, but it's gonna take 30 months before, yeah, we can fix you, but in the UK, the United Kingdom, for free healthcare, but it'll take 30 months to fix your issue. And then you went to the States, and they were like, yeah, we can fix you tomorrow, but it's going to cost $30,000, to fix your broken arm. And then they went to Canada, and they were like, have you considered dying?
Yeah,
and like with MAID, like have you considered medical assistance at dying to fix your arm?
Yeah.
Did you know that MAID? If you look at medical assistance in dying in Canada, and you compare a state like Washington State, which is like a purple state, liberals are there. You got Seattle, you got the Columbia Basin. Medical assistance in dying is also offered in Washington State. It's also offered in Canada. The rate of use in Canada is 800%.
It's crazy.
In Canada, it's actually
What?
it's actually I made a post and I said medical assistance in dying is the fourth leading cause of death in Canada, and like I got all this hate. And then I posted a second time and I was like, actually it's not the fourth highest, it's the fifth highest, because abortion's the number one leading cause of death.
That's crazy.
And then the floodgates opened and it was like, oh my gosh, how do you dare talk about abortion? But I won't get into that now. But healthcare,
don't talk about those things that make me feel emotions, because
healthcare
I
in
buy
America
into the propaganda, and I want to support those things, even though that it's filthy and disgusting. Like it's crazy. It's crazy that they've opened up MAID. They give it a nice name. It's euthanasia. So they've opened up euthanasia. They start off with the idea that, well, it's for people who are suffering. There's absolutely people who are suffering, and I empathize with that. And it's like, okay, well, right. Instead of just drugging them up until they pass on, perhaps give them an option to just like end it when they want. And that's sort of the thing. That's how they open it up. That's how the floodgates open. And this whole idea of a slippery slope is considered a fallacy. I think Canada has solidified the fact that a slippery slope is not a fallacy. It is a real thing, because what's happened in Canada is they've absolutely opened it up now. So if you can't pay your bills, they'll offer you MAID. If you can't, if you're feeling seasonal depression now, there was that kid. There was a guy with the same last name as me, and I'll always remember this case. And this was a few years ago. He went in for a few medical issues, and he told his brother, he said, make sure I get out of here. Make sure that you check me out of here, because I don't like the feeling of this. 2 days later, he was administered MAID without the consent of his family. And they're in a lawsuit over this. And the only thing that they claimed that was the reason for administering euthanasia to this guy was hearing loss. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And then now they're trying to pass legislation where this all came during COVID, because people were like, they were not letting their kids take the jab. And they wanted to bring in this legislation to make a new legal thing for kids to be able to make their own medical decisions, calling them mature minors. This was the thing. Well, this extends to maid as well. And it extends so that, you know, you get the young teenage girl who just had her boyfriend break up with her. She can go and have maid administered
Matured minor?
Yeah, because she's depressed about it, and there's no parental oversight, there's no parental guidance or anything. They can just call her a mature minor, and then she can go and
Oh my
get
gosh.
euthanized for feeling sad.
They're
It's
gonna add an
crazy.
M. They're gonna
That's
add
insane.
an M to map. You know what a map is, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
minor
They're adding an M.
attracted person.
Yeah, they're gonna
pedo?
add an M. They're just saying, oh, it's a mature. They're a mature minor attracted person. That's what's coming next.
It's
My
so
goodness.
bad.
I don't know about you guys, but I love euthanasia. I love euthanasia.
You
They're
like young
amazing
people?
They're-
You
no,
like
they're
young
amazing.
people over in
They
that
go
continent?
peace. They have a peace sign. They're the friendliest people ever. I love the
You love the
euthanasia.
euthanasia.
I love the euthanasia.
I gotta go.
Mhm.
Someone.
All right. We got two more. We got two more left. We got two more left in the hard hat, and then we're gonna. call it.
JP
My
Alberta
head-
first says
yeah.
for 5. He says this panel in quotes is way better than Rosie Barton's. That's awesome. That is really cool. Yeah, tune in more. I love bringing in groups of people that just work well together. You guys.
Someone
amazing.
wrote in the chat. Someone offered me maid for pollen allergy.
No way.
Shut up.
I mean, this is a joke. That's got to be a joke.
That's gotta be.
Okay, hold on, wait.
No, I don't believe it's a joke. This
Although
is just the way
I do know
Canada's
people
going.
with allergies.
We got
I can see that.
Canada's Kitchen for $2.79 says this needs to be a regular panel show. Yeah,
So-
you guys are welcome back anytime. One more before you go on to that. JP Alberta first for 10. Thank you so much. Says Danielle Smith is rolling all of that back in Alberta. Thank God. Honestly, thank God. Like somebody needs to come in with a little bit of common sense. It's crazy. The nation of Canada has just lost the plot entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it really has. There's someone said that they don't like pooping in public, and I figured I'd take it a little lighter. So I wanted to give you some oil-filled, unhinged humor because I've
I
had.
thought you were going to talk about the illegal immigrants in Burnaby pooping in the river. I thought you were going to talk about.
Oh, we
that.
can do that too. But there's a guy who said he doesn't like pooping at gas stations, and I was like, dude, you just gotta break the first one. You gotta poop outside. You gotta let that wind just whoosh through like your butthole. You know what I mean? Like, see how free? Yeah, it's so liberating. You gotta poop outside first, you know, and then build your way up to like things, and then you'll go into like, you know, gas station toilets and
Graduate.
Yeah, you gotta graduate. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Dude, the most liberating thing you can do is just poop outside and let the wind just touch your anal little cavity.
What are you wiping with?
You know, let it kiss your little starfish. You know,
I thought you were just healthy. I thought you were just healthy. It was one of those ones where you just go and there's just nothing there. There's just no evidence afterwards. I don't know about you guys, but I think pooping in gas stations is great. Because when you poop in a gas station, you gotta go. Like it's
an emergency at that point.
You got the sanitizer, and you're just like wiping that toilet frantically, and you just barely make it. And you're just like it's one of the most satisfying things possible, I think.
So you know what the worst part is? Honestly, the worst part is trying to hold it until home, and your ass literally knows and Bluetooths the toilet at home, and you're just like you're gonna make it, but then it Bluetooths the toilet, and it's like we're too fucking close, bro. So you're like running in your driveway, dropping your pants, and the toilet's like, you wanna use me, and your ass is like, yeah. So you have to like run so you don't shit yourself. So I mean, I'm just
Bluetooth that's connected, and you think that your body thinks it's on the throne.
Exactly. And your ass
no. Wait. We got at least 3 minutes left. We got 3 minutes.
And then you can't get the code on the door open, and your ass is like, we are connected fully. So that's why you need to teach yourself how to shit outside. It's free.
I can't breathe. Damn it.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh. Do you do stand up? Do you do stand up?
No, I'm just seriously a fucked up.
You need to start doing stand up. Oh my god, you need to start doing stand up. That's one of the funniest shits I've ever
Okay,
That's one of-
I'm
yeah,
so
yeah.
sorry.
One
I
of the
wanted to
funniest
take
things
the
I've ever heard in my life.
conversation a little lighter when
That's
I've
one
been
of the
holding
funniest
that
things
in
I've
for
ever heard
half
in
an
my life.
hour. So
Oh my
Buddy's
gosh.
like,
So Peter
Oh
from
my gosh.
Edmonton just jumped in with a $5 super chat and says, "Learn the art of the courtesy flush."
definitely courtesy flush. You don't want to let that stinky in there. No, you
People
don't.
don't know it. People don't understand the courtesy flush. You
Oh.
drop the deuce, you
Yeah, you
flush
flush.
while you're still sitting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't be
It's
an
gone.
uncultured imbecile,
And then you can
Courtesy
check
flush
your
that
you can
shit.
check your Facebook or whatever you got to do for the next 15
Exactly.
minutes or whatever it is you do on the
You know what the
can.
deuce? You know what the deuce noose is, right? The deuce noose. The deuce noose. You ever heard of the
What?
deuce noose? The deuce noose.
Oh, deuce news. Oh yeah, for sure.
What's the
That
deuce
was the
noose?
most Canadian thing I've heard out of you
The
ever.
deuce noose is when you
Oh
got a,
yeah,
when you,
for sure.
when you got a 3-bedroom apartment and you got one bathroom that you all share, and someone doesn't turn the fan, and you just purposefully don't turn the fan on, and you just let her
Oh.
rip, and then you stay in there for about 20 minutes on your phone, just literally just marry, and then you go out without the fan on, and now anybody that goes in there gets the deuce noose. It's like it's death. They just immediately die. That's it. Okay, this has been the best toilet humor 5 minutes of my life.
Amazing.
Okay,
We got
never-
honestly,
we got
one more
anonymous
thing for-
anonymous username for sorry, I can't read that out, for $20, and thank you so much for the super chat. Says, I saw a cultural enricher doing his business outside a store the other day. Makes me sick. Yeah, I mean,
Cultural enricher. That's actually that's a good,
I guess that's the
very,
term.
very polite term.
That's
very
a Justin
Canadian way
Trudeau
of-
term, like
Yeah.
people kind or whatever. Oh, they're
Yeah.
enriching our culture. That's
I'll never
hilarious.
forget Jasper's tagline or his clickbait on his video where he
What
had
was that?
I think he had a picture of Justin Trudeau in that pink suit on his thumbnail, and it said Canada elects its first gay prime minister. That was one of the best clickbaits of all time. Of all time.
Oh my
Of all time.
gosh.
Oh man. Oh man.
Uh,
Jeez. I'm in pain from laughing so hard. Right
yeah,
now.
I'm so
I think-
sorry, you guys. The drunker
Oh,
I get,
gosh.
the more I have like no filter. It's just
Hey,
verbal diarrhea.
So my Airbnb guy, I stay at this Airbnb every time I come to Dallas. I left my hard hat here, and he filled it with ice and threw a bunch of Michelobes in it
Oh, that's
for me when I
awesome.
got here.
I love
Literally.
it, dude.
He filled it like this is
Oh
what
my
Americans do, y'all. This is America.
Yeah,
Like, I left my hard
Well,
hat.
because you're not breaking the bank by buying your client
But the point is
6
he thought
beers,
about it.
right? In Canada, you're like, whoa, no, that's a business expense that I
Yeah.
couldn't handle. 6
Yeah.
beers, that's
Six-
like $30.
Yeah. Cigarettes are still cheaper in Canada, though.
Cigarettes
For
are
sure.
cheaper in Canada. Is that true? I'm not a
'cause
smoker,
you-
so I don't know.
You buy them from the reserve. They're like $4
Oh,
a pack.
Res
rolled golds.
Res Cigs were the best. I've been
Best.
buying Res Cigs for 5 years. The
The
government
With
said
the
you quit
Putters
smoking. I'm
Classic,
like,
I remember
no.
those things.
The best, man. No, like
Oh.
seriously, like First Nation culture is so underrated in Canada. It's like
Oh, yeah.
some of the best culture ever. I mean, it's actually it's so good. Like it's too bad. It's really too bad that it's this like it's a totally different hierarchy there, you know? Like
Yeah.
it's a strange political thing. But you go to the res and there's like yard dogs, like junkyard dogs around there and the pit bulls, and you're like scared shitless to go out there. You know, it's like going to another country. But then you go and you meet these people, and you want to think that Canadians are oppressed by their governments. Look at how
Yeah.
oppressed the people who live on
Yeah, it's
reserve are by
awful.
their
It's
governments.
absolutely awful.
By their
the way
governments.
people
Don't
are
get me wrong.
treated.
There's some great bands. Like I grew up like or surrounded by First Nation reserves, right? Like in Victoria, BC, there's at least 5, and the only reason why I know there's at least 5 is because that's where I picked all the trash up from. But this is messed up, y'all. This is crazy. So I got 5 kids, right? I'm good for 2 or 3 garbage bags. 2 garbage bags a day, I would say. Like I like my biggest sin is like disposable cookware, like disposable plates and forks. Like I just freaking love. I love that I can just eat,
too.
and I don't have to do dishes for 7 people. I just throw that in the trash, you know. But think about this, like in First Nation communities, right? Like they're big family units. You know, you'll have big families, and the government. This isn't the First Nations government. This isn't like the tribal council. This is the federal government. It's called Adenac, I think. They allow 1 garbage can picked up per week. People are like, "Oh, look at all this trash on the reserve." It's like, dude, if I only had 1 garbage can a week for my 5 kids. And sometimes in these houses, there's like, mother-in-law, father-in-law, mother, father, grandkids. If I only had 1 garbage can a week and I had raccoons in my neighborhood, which who doesn't have raccoons? And then their greasy little paws. No wonder there's trash everywhere, right? So like, so I made a bunch of friends on the res because I was like, trash can. I was like, let's get some front end load dumpsters on these houses, right? And everyone got a dumpster, and guess what? Everything got cleaned up.
Yeah.
But there's this oppression level where they are told how to live. It's like, no, you can't do this, you can't have that, you can't have this. And like it's really sad because what's happened now is that you have a very small group, very tiny, politically radicalized group speaking as if they speak on behalf of the First Nations in Canada, and they don't. But for some reason, because some girl can go up there and do some like heavy breathing chanting sound, she all of a sudden speaks for everybody, and it's like, no, you don't, dude. Like I got Native friends that were just laughing their ass off at this stuff. And I mean, at the NDP, you guys saw the NDP.
Because it's fake.
convention.
It's like, let's
It's
just straight
fake.
up, let's just say
It's
it.
so
Say
fake.
it. Like,
It's so
I'm
fake.
tired of it.
It's so fake, dude. All of
It's
it is
so
just
fake.
virtue signaling. First of all, like it's the elites against us, right? We're all in the same game. We're all getting fucked and bent over, and like everyone's going in dry.
Moosed. We're all getting
And no one's
moosed.
buying us dinner. Exactly. We're getting moose. Like no one's buying us fucking any dinner, right?
Yeah.
And then we're all fighting with each other. I'm like, why are we fighting with each other, dudes, when like these guys want us all dead? You know what I mean? Like, can we just work together a little bit? Kind of like on the toilet humor. Like that one dude who said, okay, I gotta stop drinking and going on podcasts because there's one dude who's like, we're so poor in Canada, I had to jerk off the dog to feed my cat.
Oh, man.
I'm crying. He said he had to jerk off his dog to feed his cat. Holy shit.
Dead.
I'm crying. I'm crying so hard.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to make it to my last beer, guys. I think I'm going to
I
pass
don't
out.
think I'm gonna make it through my
I have a
last
headache.
line, dude.
I feel spaced out right now.
Oh crap! That was
You know when you see
hilarious.
stars? You ever get it where you see stars and they're just like all over the place? I'm seeing stars right now. I've been laughing so hard. I'm deprived of oxygen at this point. Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude, this was.
We need to
fucking
read
awesome.
more from the chat, you guys. This chat is absolutely hilarious.
It's fucking wild, man.
unhinged.
Like you guys are like
They are
missing all the
unhinged.
good comments. The worst part is one of you said something serious about Maid. I saw that comment. I laughed while you were saying something serious about Maid, and I was like, "Fuck me." I'm like, "That's gonna look so bad on camera." So that's why I was like, "Oh, dudes."
Yeah. How did he feed
Bobby
the dog?
Cat said that
How
was
did
me,
he feed
Clyde.
the dog?
That was
Now
me,
he's
Clyde.
asking. Now they're asking, how did they feed the dog?
Yeah, now we're wondering, how do you feed the dog to jerk him off to feed the cat? We need a story now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm so sorry.
I had this lady-
Okay, I want to call this out though.
Dude.
I do want to call this out because this is something
Okay.
that I shared the other day, and
Okay.
I just had to say it. I put it out on Twitter. I said I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I'm willing to bet that a majority of the history, like in quotes, of the Native people in Canada orally passed down to them is actually made up BS. Like it's just bullshit. I have a feeling this is a common thought, but most people don't have the balls to just say it.
Okay, I'm going to interject. Can I interject here? I actually have a very firsthand experience with this. Okay, so there is this. There's two mentalities that I found that come out of the reserve. There's the obvious, like there's this victim mentality for sure. And don't get me wrong, there's tons of oppression, sure, like within the reserve.
Yeah, but at the hands of themselves.
Go up north.
That's
Go up to Jack Pine. Go up to Prince George, where 60% of the schools are Native. And who's the rich kids? It's all the Natives. You want to be friends with the Natives because they're the rich kids. They're the ones that have the money. Okay. Right. And this is what happens. Okay. There's this victim mentality thing that's passed down. That's one. The other mentality is the actual ones that are actually historical, that actually know like the real vetted. But just because one person says something doesn't mean it's true. right? So it's like one person tells a story and it can be a completely false story. Well, all of a sudden that becomes the narrative for that whole generation to the white people. Meanwhile, my Native friends are sitting back being like, that's not what my auntie said. That's not what my grandpa said, you know? And there's this entire thing where you're not wrong. You're not wrong that there is so much stuff that's taken over, but it's that's the narrative that you know. So the narrative that you know is BS. But there's actual real things that happen. Like they say 5,000 kids, 5,000 kids were killed in residential school. They'll say 5,000 kids were killed. That'll be the really dumb people. 5,000 kids died in residential schools. Yeah. They died of disease, tuberculosis. They died of all kinds of things. And, I can tell you stories where it was like, there's abusive things at home. People are sending their kids to residential schools. Why? There's food, there's education, there's healthcare, there's all these things. Are you trying to tell me that Christian, like, people who serve other people their entire lives are out there like with these like wires, like zapping these Native kids, to like, it's just crazy. It's insane.
It's crazy. So that's one aspect of it, right? So it's the victim stuff that's BS.
But then that becomes the adoptive narrative.
Well, it becomes a narrative.
Yeah.
But also, I just want to point this out, right? So, I have a feeling that years ago, some of the people in the Native community, they heard about like Mongolian throat singing or whatever. And they're like, yeah, we did that too. We totally did that too. And it's not true. It didn't happen. It wasn't the thing. But then it got passed down. And then people are like, yeah, we totally did that. And look at us doing it. And it's not the same as like actual Mongolian throat singing. So, but enough people work themselves up into BS. And then you end up, and this is the thing, the Canadians will just like, yeah, totally. It's such a beautiful thing that we see in the Native community. And then it goes so far that it's on the Junos, and I posted this video. I'm not kidding. I posted this video a couple right on the day that the Junos came out last weekend. And this went viral because this is just retarded, man.
I've never heard a Native sing like that.
And apparently that's
life.
Nelly Furtado. I thought that I was like, who's the person that ate Nelly Furtado?
I'm like a Native. There's no way. I've never, not one time in my entire life, being surrounded by First Nations people, have I ever experienced a throat singing ceremony of any kind. Ever. Not one time.
It's not real. And here's the funny part.
Maybe it is real, but it's definitely not the predominant culture. I've never seen that.
Here's another one with King Charles and his wife from like 8 years ago. They came to Canada and they're just cracking up to it. Like they couldn't take it seriously. It's crazy.
I've never seen that. In my life. I've been surrounded by First Nation people my entire life. I've never seen that in First Nations culture in my entire life. Never seen it once.
Seeing them crack up though. Just seeing them crack up. There's like
so that girl. So funny story about that girl doing that. So there was a time where the 1BC Dallas Brody went onto University of Victoria campus. And one of their people that was there went up to the mic. Like they were all talking like I don't know what these people were saying. They were banging their drums and they were being loud and anti Dallas Brody. There's 215 people buried, or there isn't. And it's, if it is true, it's terribly sad. But anyway, this one girl goes up. There's an open mic. She goes up and she's like, how many people's parents are paying for their education, and like. She's engaged with the crowd and she says something to the tune of, I think what's beautiful about universities is this is a place to have discourse and discuss ideologies. And all of a sudden some people start like crawling up from the back. And she's like, yeah, I think we should excavate. I think someone should actually go there and actually recover these bodies and give them a proper burial. And I think it'd be a beautiful thing. And I think we need to really honor this terrible tragedy of 250 children. Dude, they ran up, they took the mic from her. They're like, no, you can't start talking about this stuff. And then that girl doing the throat singing was the one that was like really aggressive in her face on camera. There's like, and she's just I
didn't know that was
throat singing in her face, and she's got this megaphone look at my taped up thing. This is and she's got this megaphone, and she's like with the megaphone, like in her face. And I'm thinking, and I'm like,
That's
every
crazy.
single quarter there was a First Nations ceremony. I went to Saniston School. There's beautiful
Grab me a
native
couple
art on
more.
the school. I have never once in my entire life experiencing native cultural days and months and going to pit cookouts. Like, dude, the pit cookouts are off the hook, man. If you go to like a crab, they have these events, they're public, free crab, free food, clams, everything. You go to these pit cookouts, not one time have I ever heard throat singing.
No,
one time.
no, and that's what I'm saying.
Never
Like, I
heard
think
it.
it's BS.
Maybe
Like,
it
it's just
exists,
made
but I've
up.
just never heard it. Never heard it. Hey, did you guys notice that the Texas state is someone being like, pew pew? You ever notice that? Pew pew.
Wow, the
There's
Texas
a
state is
tangent.
a lot of people going like, pew,
There's a
pew.
tangent for you. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I want to get into this actually. So I'm a huge fan of guns. I love guns. I absolutely love guns. I think gun ownership in Canada is totally screwed. It's totally screwed up. What they're doing to gun ownership in Canada is messed right up. And I mean, that's a whole episode on its own. Are you guys gun owners?
I am, but I kind of want to know about wiener water at powwows. Is that a real thing?
Hold on,
Wiener
what?
water?
Yeah, wiener
Okay,
water. Like,
I'll
apparently
tell you all about
they
this.
cook hot dogs.
I'll tell you all
and then
about this.
the wiener
Okay.
water, and I want to know about the wiener
I can-
water
I can
because I've
I
had
can
way
explain.
too much wine.
Okay, that's
Sorry.
another thing altogether.
I can. You want to go back to the res? Is that what you want to do right now? Is you
We're
wanna
going
go
back to the res. Okay,
We're going back
never-
to the
okay.
res. I need
Forget
wiener
about the
water
gun talks.
explained to
We're
me.
We'll
going
go back to the res
res.
for a minute. We'll go back to the res for a minute. Meanwhile, I'm gonna send Clyde some gun pics from our trip. Okay, so hamburger soup. You guys
Oh,
ever
that's
have
the
hamburger
best.
soup?
Fuck yeah,
The
that
best,
shit
right?
is the
Man.
best.
Hamburger soup. That is
No.
the staple. That is the staple of all responsible diets. Is hamburger soup, and it is extremely common on the res. Okay, wiener water. This is what you. Okay, wiener water is what you eat entire hot dogs. Do you not
Yeah.
eat entire hot dogs? Okay.
Yeah.
What's wrong with water that comes from boiling a couple wieners? It's the same thing.
Nothing. I just want to
If
know how
anything,
to
it's-
eat the wiener water.
Okay, so wiener water is a stock. It's like chicken stock.
Oh,
Shut up.
It's a stock.
Shut up. They use it as
Shut
like
up,
bouillon.
actually?
I use wiener water. I use
No
wiener water.
way.
Wiener water
Yeah.
bouillon. Like you like
Yeah, like if I'm making mac and
render it
cheese,
down.
I'm
And
telling you. I'm telling
you
you.
serious?
I'm telling you. Macaroni and cheese, okay? With wieners. We've had hot dogs with mac and cheese, right? Like, don't tell me I'm the only one, right? Hot dogs with mac and cheese is totally normal. Boil the wieners first. Take them out, okay?
Yeah.
Wait till they got the little crack, until the seams start cracking a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, if the wiener hasn't busted open, you haven't cooked it long enough, right? And it's got to have that little bend in it, right? So
Yeah.
so cook your wieners, take the wieners out, throw the macaroni in there, cook the
Oh.
macaroni in the wiener water.
That's actually such a freaking good idea.
I'm
I'm actually
telling
gonna
you,
do that
bro.
tonight.
It's
I'm
a
not even
stock.
kidding.
It's like beef stock.
We're gonna
It's
have
like,
wiener water.
What are you
freaking
doing
KD.
cooking wiener water at 11:15 p.m.? What are you doing?
I'm living my best life.
You're
I'm
you're
on days
smoking that
off.
legal weed. So they actually just pulled it
no.
off the shelves. Weed was
I
legal in Texas. People don't
Oh,
realize
really?
this was legal.
No, I get
All
piss
the-
tested. I'm just drunk as fucking on days off, and I work night shift, so my shit's all over the place.
Okay,
And
I ain't
like-
gonna lie. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie. You took a break. I don't know how Clyde does this. He sits and streams for hours at a time. The Bluetooth is calling me. The Bluetooth is
Oh,
calling
okay,
my
yeah.
number
If
one.
you gotta do that.
Bluetooth
I-
is calling you. I only have Uber that texts me. Uber is like, "Are you
No,
okay,
that's
bitch?"
that's
No,
in
like my
reference
like
to the old
like my pee
go to the
gotta go
toilet.
wee wee. My pee
Oh,
gotta go wee
you're
wee.
okay,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I forgot my own joke because I like too many lines. I was like, your Bluetooth calls you. I'm like, Uber texts me. Okay, they check up on me. They love me.
So weenie water is now it's like Should we start a bouillon company of just like weenie water bouillon?
Oh,
Like,
I honestly think this is like $1 million fucking idea. Like Knorr is gonna be listening to this and they're gonna be like, hey, yo, we've got vegetable, chicken, and beef, but we forgot about the wiener water bouillon.
the less bought pork stock, but then yeah, weenie water stock.
We need wiener water stocks. But yes, I also like guns after the wiener water. I just wanted to know about the wiener.
All right, tell me, like, so is that like a new thing? What did you do with your guns when you left Canada, or did you have any?
We did. And I don't want to say what we did with them, but we lost them.
Okay. Oh, you lost them. Accident. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You had a boating accident.
Yeah, I hate when we go ice fishing and we have to take protection, and then the gun just decides to go for a little swim on its own. Stupid gun, you know what I mean? But
damn,
I know, right? Shit, you know, yeah.
So because like Canada's doing this big gun buyback right now.
Oh, I know, I saw that.
And
that is the most a big retarded thing ever.
It's a big failed project, right? It's a big giant failed project because it has about a 2% compliance rate.
I saw that too. And it's like the dumbest people that are like, I want the terrorist guy from Pakistan who has terrorist ties who somehow made it to the Canadian government. I want him to take my guns and offer me $25. Like,
no, hear this out, because actually the 2% compliance rate is actually it's a dumber even thing than you think.
Really?
So, yeah. So less people are giving their guns to the government because they want to hand over their guns. We're just talking about the gun buyback.
I got you.
Yeah, so it's a 2% compliance rate, and yeah, you'd immediately think, oh, the people who did do it are idiots. But it turns out a lot of them are actually people who are checking out. They're actually leaving the country. And so they're doing the gun buyback so that they can actually get some money for guns that they can't transfer into the United States. Or into whatever other country. Yeah.
Okay, that actually makes sense, because I know they have brokers down here in the US where you can like part it out and they'll do everything like legally for you. I mean, it costs like
it is so
a lot of money, right?
Strict and tight, and it's hard. And the guns that they'll accept are very few, and it's a big problem. It's a big problem. So what a lot of people have been doing is
guns are everywhere down here, though. The guns are everywhere.
Oh yeah, everywhere. Everyone's strapped like 100% all the time. Like that's why no one honks in traffic. No one gets mad. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you want to drive under the speed limit? I'll just fucking drive under the speed limit too, because I don't want to get shot. So I'm not gonna honk at you. You know what I mean? Like in Canada, I'm like, get the fuck out of the way, you piece of shit. You know what I mean? Down here,
you get road rage.
Oh, I have road rage so bad.
I wrote a song about road rage.
Like, oh, did you? I probably need it because, like,
no, but get this. So I have a personal friend of mine who's moving. He's looking to move to Iowa, and he's like, "Well, I can't take these with me because the ATF is like, no way. Thank you, sweetie. So the ATF is like, no way." Not happening. You can't bring those into the country. So he's like, well, what do I do? And he's like, well, the gun buyback. They'll give me money for it. And so he went with that. And so he's like, he's getting a paycheck from the government, and he's part of that 2%. Now, I have another friend who's leaving the country. He's going back to Australia. He's a colleague of mine. And he has some firearms, and he went to go return them. And he sold the ones that are still legal because they're just hunting rifles. And then one of them was like a 9mm like AR looking gun. They got thrown in with all the bans. And so he's like, I don't care. I'm not going to do the buyback. I just want rid of it. So I'm not like doing anything illegal. So he calls the RCMP. He's like, I got this gun. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. It's prohib now, and I'm leaving the country. Can you come get it? And they're like, I don't know what to do about that. You need to call the registry office. So he calls the registry office. They're like, I think you need to call the RCMP. And he calls back the RCMP, and he's like, listen, somebody needs to come get this damn thing. Because and they're like, well, just come and drop it off. And I'm like, I'm not coming to your office with a gun.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
What the
Just
fuck?
come and drop it off.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
a
I'm not gonna be that guy on the 6 o'clock news is like walked into an RCMP at dispatch with a handgun or whatever gun ended up getting plowed. But like yeah, so they don't even know what the hell they're doing. Every agency is just like, don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
I
They're-
sent you some
they're
photos,
lost.
Clyde. I sent you some coincidental photos. One of them, I think one or two of them is from our trip, maybe. Oh no,
Wait.
one of them's a shirt. It's a shirt I bought at that gun range we went to, where we shot that BMG. Show
Okay,
them the
what?
BMG one. I told the
Hold
story
up,
about
hold
the
up, hold
BMG
up.
blowing tiles off the wall.
Hey,
And then
the
there's-
next time you're down in Texas, you guys want to go helicopter like hog hunting with us?
Are you
Are
paying?
you going for that?
Are you paying?
Oh yeah, like I literally bought a gift certificate for my husband and I, like for his birthday, to like shoot hogs out of a helicopter with like a bunch
Effective
of like
immediately.
ex-military.
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
Yes, right?
Effective immediately.
Yeah,
Okay, effective
absolutely,
immediately.
yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's-
And you know what's
He
funny?
stopped listening to me an
is
hour
pe-
ago.
There's people
I
there's
think.
people like if you tell someone you're going on a helicopter hog hunt, they will this is so funny. This sign is at the airport because so many people walk around with guns. That's my son. So many people walk around with guns. You have to literally remind people that there's no guns allowed because people will walk into airport security and be like, oh, I forgot. Like, here's my 9mm. Whoops. Whoops, I was carrying my 9mm. Like they have to remind people. And it's incredible because you don't see the guns. You don't see them.
No, because they're concealed, and it's a
Because they're
concealed
But they're
carry.
everywhere.
It's a constitutional
But they're
carry state, so you
everywhere.
don't
Yeah.
need a permit to conceal
Yeah.
carry,
Yeah, they're everywhere. But
which is
imagine,
awesome. I love that.
Imagine a sign like that in Victoria, British Columbia.
Oh.
Like I feel like you should put one up just to see what the reaction would be.
So
okay,
this is the range
cool.
where we shot the 50 cal.
So zoom in on the bottom right. Zoom in all the way on the bottom right on the bottom. Yeah, to the right. See that? Zoom in a bit more if you can.
50
A bit
cal.
more, I don't know.
What am I
Oh, to the
zooming
right.
into?
Right there. You see that? Up a little bit. Up. Right there. You see that? No,
No.
down.
What?
There's missing tiles. That's the grout.
Oh yeah.
The
So,
BMG will blow the tiles off the wall. It'll blow
Yeah.
the tiles off the wall.
so it's a
Yeah.
50 caliber gun in like
And on the left
was it like
side, too, you
a
can see.
1,000 foot range indoor.
Oh no, it was 150. It
150.
was 150 feet. Yeah. And then there's another one I
It
sent.
was a
you,
lot
this
of fun.
girl-
Like we had to go in there with you had to wear the like in-ear pro and then over the ear pro. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah.
intense. So
Yeah, you
for
could feel the
everybody who
shock waves.
doesn't, for everybody who's like just tuning in, like where can I do that? So there's a range in Waco, Texas called
You.
Republic Gun Club. They're awesome. They're really good people. In fact, last time I was visiting, because we did that video there with we went in to chat about
was a
gun
good
myths
video.
and stuff like it. It was
Yeah,
great.
it's a good video.
One of the best performing videos I've ever had on my channel. And then I went back and I just popped in to just pay a visit with my family when we were going through to go to Austin last time. And we popped in and they're like, "Oh, Clyde, how you doing?" Like they remembered me from the trip and all that. It was really, really cool. And yeah, if you're ever in the area of Waco,
Republic
Texas,
Gun Club.
you got to go to the Republic Gun Club. You shoot the 50. They got a great setup, like all kinds of different guns to shoot. But shoot the 50. Like you gotta jump in and do that. Well, we just lost Tiana. I don't know what happened there.
Canadian government finally got her.
The Canadian government finally got her. But yeah, so if you ever get the chance, get down there, do that. I'm actually gonna go work with them some more because we're working on the idea of helping Canadians when they move to the United States on transferring their firearms, any of the ones that they're able to.
Someone wrote
So-
constitutional carry does not mean concealed carry. So I think you're wrong about
Yeah,
that.
no, yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah,
I
So
got
I think that's wrong.
What happened? You got booted?
I have no
Like-
idea. I just got booted. Everything just kind of shut down on my computer, and then
I was like, she's too
oh.
drunk. She's like,
Oh,
she just
no.
called it.
I
She just
literally
called
thought
it.
you guys kicked me out because I was drunk, and I was like,
No,
"Oh shit!"
no,
I'm like, "Was I that bad?" I'm like, "Fuck." You know,
Yeah, no, we were just as surprised as you were.
You guys could have just told me to shut up and just stay on the thing, like, you know,
just freeze pain.
you just
freeze pain.
screen, you know.
Just freeze pain. Yeah. Oh, you know, now it comes out. Now your real accent comes out.
I
Give her,
know.
give
The
her a couple
drunker I
glasses of
get,
wine.
it's so
The more
bad.
Canadian, eh? The more
Oh,
Canadian,
so
eh?
bad. Like so
Oh,
northern.
hey, you know what
Albertan.
Canadian horses eat?
Okay, so I want to get
Yeah,
into this
hey.
just while we're still on it. So constitutional carry, also known as permitless carry or unrestricted carry, refers to the legal authority for an individual to carry a handgun either openly or concealed without a government issued permit or license. As of early 2026, 29 states allowed this form of carry, interpreting the Second Amendment as restricting the government from regulating the carrying of firearms. So yes, it absolutely means that you're allowed to concealed carry. You can openly carry, you can conceal carry. All of that is all protected by the Second Amendment, and that's the idea of constitutional carry.
Thank you, Clyde. Another educational tidbit from.
Yeah, I'm always
I love it, dude.
dotting
You're
my
one of the
I's,
most
crossing my T's.
Seriously, like I was amazed spending 10 days with you. It was like I learned so much. You're like a walking encyclopedia sometimes. You know, but what's really funny is I asked you if you knew what a speakeasy was.
Yeah.
When's the last time you went to a speakeasy? Are you serious? You don't know what a speakeasy is either? Am I the cool
Diana.
guy right now? T. I call her T. Is it?
What happened?
Is it Diana?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys go
Last
by
time you've been
Diana?
to a
I know your
speakeasy.
name. I know your name.
He asked me the same question. I was like,
Oh,
well, I'll
speakeasy,
tell you, my
there's
friend,
one-
I was not born in I wasn't around in the 1920s.
Yeah,
so
he goes right to the textbook. He's like, well, David, let me explain to you what a speakeasy is. I was like,
actually.
Actually,
there's one in Midland, and it's underneath the bank. And my husband and I went, and it was kind of pretty cool. Like, you know, you kind of say a little password. I mean, they give you the password, like, you know, over email.
No.
What? No. What?
That's not how this works.
I never went to a speakeasy. I got ripped off.
You got
no.
ripped,
So
got-
let me
okay, there's
fill
three
you in.
levels.
It's okay. I was
There's-
drunk and I had fun, so they were
There's
totally
three levels.
ripping me off.
Speakeasies were illegal bars back in the Prohibition era, but now now they've become this like idea of like a niche, like secret, nobody knows about it.
So we went to one in that alley. Remember when we went
and
to
like
Austin?
hipsters? It's like walking around with like a Walkman today. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I see.
Like,
the
I got
hipster,
a
like,
Walkman
little
with
thing,
a curly wire going to it.
You
Right?
know what?
It's like, did you go to the speakeasy? Yeah, I went to the speakeasy.
That's the low tier speakeasy. The low tier speakeasy is you walk into a place and they tell you a passcode and you get in or whatever. Okay, that's the low tier. Okay, the mid tier is what you and I did, Clyde. We were like,
in Austin.
We were like dodging some crackheads in an alleyway, and there was like a lamp in behind a dumpster, and I was like, we should go open that door. And Clyde was like, no, what are you doing? You can't just. And then we like opened this door, and boom, in the middle of this crackhead alleyway in Austin off 6th Street was this insane bar. Like right, this that's like the mid tier. Like you just
and it had the whole like skunk.
Really?
Yeah, skunk.
Yeah. And it was like this crackhead bar. There's just a lamp. There's no signs. It's just a doorway with the lamp, and it's like you dodge the crackheads and you get in. Like that's like the mid tier. So so what I realized is the speakeasy is a culture, and the ones you want to find are like a scavenger hunt. Okay. They're like a scavenger hunt.
What?
So you'll find it online. It'll say it's a speak. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. This is an awesome story. So this is like 2 nights ago. So I have this pretty cool guy, client of mine, like basically like a friend, but like we work together. And I'm like, I'm gonna find this guy a speakeasy, and it's gonna be like the best time ever. And so I find this one called Bandista. If you're ever in Houston, Bandista experience, you guys are gonna love this. I'm not gonna ruin it for you.
Don't ruin the whole thing.
Absolutely. Took me a freaking hour to find this speakeasy. So there's 2 rules I'll tell you about a speakeasy. 99% of the time, the code to get in is the address. So if it's like 1300 Lamar Street, the code's gonna be 1300. 99% of the time. Second thing I'll tell you about the rule is never ask where it is. That's what ruins the whole fun of the speakeasy. You want to go find it. It'll always be accessible. You'll never need a room key. You'll never need like some sort of security clearance. You'll be able to find it. So I'm in this hotel. I'm at the Four Seasons, and I'm looking for the speakeasy. And I'm at the I go have a drink, and I ask
It's
the
like the
bartender, I'm like,
escape
hey,
room of bars. That's like,
it is. It's exactly what it
yeah.
is. So then I realized it wasn't on the first floor. It was on the second floor or on the third floor. So I start going on all these floors, and then nothing. And I find a bar, and I'm like, it's got to be on this floor. There's a bar on this floor. So I go around and I order this drink at the bar. And I'm like, hey, is the speakeasy on this floor? And she's like, you've been looking for a while, haven't you? I'm like, yes. She's like, it is on this floor. And so I go around. And I'm looking, I can't find shit. And so finally I'm like, I give up. I've been at this for like an hour, and I tell the bartender, I'm like, I give up. Where is it? She's like, I'll call the host. So this lady walks up to me, this Asian lady. She looked like she was like a spy for North Korea. Just like beautiful blazer.
Play the part, right?
Spoke like the most perfect broken English possible. Like every word was enunciated like she was from the UK, like she was English, but she would look like she was North Korean. And it was like, oh, sir, like, have you made a reservation? And I was like, you got to make a reservation for a bar? That's like, I've never heard of that in my life. Who makes a reservation to go drink booze, like overpriced booze at a bar? So you need a reservation. And then it was like, you got to wait 10 minutes. And they call the manager, you got to wait 10 minutes. And how many is this me? Dude, they took me to this thing. I saw the thing. I instantly typed in the code. And she's like, you've been here before? I'm like, no, but I know the fucking rules. I'm like, I'm going to type in the code. And this entire like wall just like opened for me. And it was the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. Bandista was like, there was a bartender, like there's like these custom bartenders, like these private bartenders for when you sit down. He was flipping cream. I don't know if I'm lagging out. He was flipping cream, like sweet cream in the air, and like blowing liquid nitrogen in the air. And the cream was hitting the liquid nitrogen and turning into like these brandy, like Texas brandy, Kentucky bourbon, whatever, Dippin' Dots in the air, and they're like landing in this bowl, and they were just like making Dippin' Dots just like this, throwing it in the air. Yeah, like mind-blowing experience. Bandista, Houston, Texas, insane scavenger hunt.
See, I feel like I'm too autistic for that shit, because I'm going to end up in a crack house and I'm going to be like, they were making Dippin' Dots. But it's like with this
I made it.
Fruit,
I made it to the speakeasy.
Like, yo, is your freaking passcode 1300? And this crackhead is going to be like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm going to be like, this is the worst experience ever. Like,
Dave told me I'm supposed to find him. Dave told me to go on a scavenger hunt, and I thought I was looking for a speakeasy. They told
me there's crackheads.
They told me it was a scavenger hunt with crackheads. Oh my gosh.
Is that what happened to Rob Ford back in the 90s?
That's why he got lost.
Dude.
I need to be supervised for this. Like, you can't just tell me go to a back alley, find some crackheads, and it's a speakeasy. My dumbass would actually do that. I'm doing this spoon, like making dip and dip. I'm like with my camera out. I'm like, I swear to God, it's just like the way he described it.
So I lived in Toronto in the late 90s, and a speakeasy was just a bar after hours, right? So like after all the bars had closed. So we would go to Chinatown, and we'd go into the restaurants, and we'd order the cold tea.
Uh-oh, guys.
They come
I'm
up
out
with
of beer.
They come up with the China. They come up with the China, and you just it's beer inside. Anyway,
holy crap.
Okay, so that does it. That does it. We're out of beer, so that's that for this evening.
I
got one more. I could have shotgunned it, but I opened it too fast. Damn it!
Do it.
All right, ladies and gents. So we also make available the Discord server. So if people want to chat with us further and have more beers and hang out and that kind of thing, or wobbly pops as we call them here on the channel, hang out on the Discord channel, and we'll have someone in the chat right now, probably Peter from Edmonton. He'll pop that in there. The link to the Discord server. It's open. It's free. If you don't know what Discord is, it's another social media app, but they happen to have really, really good. There it is. There's the link right there. And it's in the description down below. They have really, really good voice and video, so we can have conference calls with the whole lot of people. So you can join in, you can lurk, you can engage with us, all that kind of stuff. all you want. So come on in, hang out with us. That's what we do after the live streams on Friday nights. I want to thank so much my two guests this evening. Truth Seeker, Tiana, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a blast. And
thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. I'm gonna like log off and try and go find some crackheads.
Wait, I'm gonna play you out. I'm gonna play you out.
David Ayla, thank you so much for joining tonight, because it's amazing. David's gonna play us out as we finish up the live stream.
Well, T and David, they moved down to Texas. We met some people, they were the bestest. You gotta know if you're polite, you're an ass. Chilling with Clyde and T, well, they are the best. Oh, broke my arm in Canada, but that's okay. Moved down to Texas, and I got paid. I broke my arm, and the Canadian health system said, have you considered MAID? Oh, yeah. We're going to go to the road rage right here.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Good night,
everyone. Fantastic. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday morning, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you
Enjoy.
for having me.